shadows lengthen in Carcosa. Strange is the night where black stars rise. Strange moons circle through the skies, but stranger still is lost Carcosa. Song of my soul, my voice is dead. Die thou unsung as tears unshed, shall dry and die.
Why, hello, and welcome to, thank you for joining us for session 4 of Murmurs at the Abyss, Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. My name is Stu, I am your GM.
You're the keeper.
And we are
I will do it my way, go ahead. And we have, and I would like to introduce your players. Starting to my left.
I almost forgot my name. I'm CADave, and I'm going to be playing Dr. Edward J. Freedman, psychiatrist, and now roadside adventurer.
Car aficionado.
Yeah.
Owner of a handgun.
Owner, jeez. I am Jim, and I'll be playing Isadore Holzman, our archaeologist and all-around nice guy.
I'm Kimi. I'm playing Doris Daniels. She's an explorer, world traveler, somewhat renowned author of semi-scientific information. Yeah.
Hi, I am Pooja. I am playing Camilla Greenwald, your ever-helpful librarian who did not die of yellow fever.
Did not.
Yellow fever survivor.
Yellow fever
Yeah.
survivor.
Yes.
What color ribbon is that?
I don't know.
Those are some good dice rolls. We're all happy about the
Well, it can't be
dice
yellow, yellow's taken.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be. And if you'd like to catch up on this game or any of our other fine actual plays, you can go to happyjacks.org/shows and find all of them there.
Yep.
And you should do that. Would anyone like to recap what happened in the last adventure? I don't remember.
I can. Because
I remember some, but I don't remember.
Camilla,
what
like any good librarian, keeps a journal.
Yes.
So, last time, we went to Abigail Amherst's apartment in Manhattan. Her apartment isn't as, nice as we thought it would have assumed, considering her family connections, because the Amhersts are the Amherst with capital T.
New York City Amherst.
But she does have she did have one of James Smith's pieces in her apartment. It seemed to reflect Trask's experience with the Titanic and the iceberg and the city, and tentacles. And as I was observing it, something in it moved. Our good doctor, CADave, character whose name I've forgotten again.
Freedman.
Took quite a liking to the painting.
I did.
And
I have a perfect place for it.
in the painting there was also the symbol that had that we saw on one of the bodies. Was also reflected in the painting itself. Covered it up and took it with us. Abigail's beau, Hector Barajas, was one of the first victims in the Manhattan yellow fever outbreak, suggesting that this kind of yellow fever stuff had been going back a little ways. 3 years ago, one of the other members of this expedition, and I'm calling it now, of these, you know, the kind of the apocalypse expedition, Samuel Campbell, rather, he began specifically researching into destructive and disease-carrying insects, and he brought in black bulldog ants and African honeybees. So these are two insects that we have not seen yet, but I have a sneaking, gnawing sensation in my gut that we will not be unfamiliar with them for long.
Yeah. The likelihood of this guy being a dick is very high.
Yes. I mean, once you're part of, like, you know, an apocalypse expedition, I feel like being a dick just goes right. It's like
Hand
part
in
of
hand.
the
Yeah.
it's part of the induction ceremony, and now you're an asshole.
It's like buying a BMW.
But In other news, Doris was in the library while we were doing some research, and she found a book by Gertrude Bell that shares a title with her book, which the library did not have.
A million curses upon you.
It didn't have my book. It had the other book.
Yes.
The better-selling book.
For
We
now.
also found a book, Cults of the Ancient... Oh,
But the library no longer has its copy.
you have checked it out.
I have checked it out.
There's a record of that.
Yes, there is.
It'll go down on your permanent record.
Yes.
You could just pay the minor fee.
You're not your
The
character yet.
library
Keep
has to
going.
go buy a new one once in a while.
Some things are cross between player and character. Some traits. So we found a book called Cults of the Ancient World. It's the same author as the Ancient Religion book that we found in the pit, Thomas of Bath. And the symbol Isadore recognized, and it crossed many different cults across the world. So it didn't seem to be from one particular religion, but it was like an apocalypse type symbol. That's all I got.
And the symbol we're talking about is that one.
Yes.
It's like the one that looks like a squiggly.
It's a question mark coming out of a jar.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, it kind of does look like a question mark coming out of a jar.
Yeah.
I mean, I would
With a
be
fly
not
in it.
surprised if there was a Riddler comic out there somewhere that has that exact same symbol in
I would
it.
not be surprised though.
Yeah.
And did you also mention, because I was moving stuff around, that his tires were slashed?
No, I forgot to. I didn't write that
Oh
down.
yes, in the neighborhood, the tires were slashed.
Right, when
We
you
were
guys,
parked in front of the apartment.
Abigail's
The
apartment.
two right side
when you were
tires.
looting Abigail's apartment.
Searching.
Really?
We nearly collected an artifact of importance and interest to our investigation,
Sure. A legitimate salvage.
and
You're
left.
a keeper, not a DM. We're not rifling through the bodies for loose silver.
That was a few games ago.
And the
That's
body rifled
Traveler.
itself up on the bed, off down on the floor, up.
Okay, so our start date for the last game was May 27th, 1923. Is it now May 20?
It is May 29th, 1921.
23. It is 1923.
Yeah, it's 1923.
It's been 1923
The whole time?
the whole time.
Why do all my notes say 1921?
Oops.
There was a confusion on one of the telegrams.
That's
Yeah,
yes.
the telegram had it.
Because
Every
a mistake.
single
I've been
one
prepping
of
this game
them.
since January.
That, and I believe that our prequel game was
Yeah.
in 1921.
No, that was in 19.
That was
13.
1913.
It was 10 years ago.
Okay, so I'm going to
The
change
May 29,
all of these.
1923. Boom.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
never had a game where people argue over the freaking timeline and the date of.
Well, that's
Without
because-
accurate
Not
time
arguing.
records.
It's not arguing. It's just
Meaningless.
confusion.
It isn't a role playing game, according to Gygax.
Yeah.
it's not a meaningful game
Yeah.
Meaningful.
if accurate time records are not kept.
Oh man.
So
Excuse me as I
the
choke.
Gygax.
Excuse me while I choke on the preposterousness of that statement.
All right. So, where did you guys go that evening? After you?
I
what-
believe when we left off, we were looking for the FBI headquarters.
Is that
Yes.
what happened?
Is your mic muted?
Is it? I don't think so. No. Hello, hello.
No, yeah, it's there.
All right. Maybe
It's
we can
very
move it
quiet.
closer.
Oh. It's gonna move knobs
I didn't.
and balance knobs too. People were panned.
I said we should tape everything down. You said that wasn't necessary.
Well,
I work with children.
but we don't
Yes.
hear though.
No.
Yes,
I
but
disagree.
like,
Okay.
I'm just.
But then,
I didn't come here to be attacked.
Honestly, when I play Changing, I think Rob, Adam, and I are 8 years old in that game the
makes
entire
sense.
time.
You know what? If you're going to talk about sex as much as Changeling does, and any of Adam's games do, at least 13.
all right. So where did you guys have a hotel you were staying at? Because I remember you check. Did you check in somewhere? I don't remember.
Yes.
You checked in at a nice hotel. I don't remember what it was.
Probably the plaza,
That sounds right.
Yeah,
That sounds
it was the plaza. And
I would guess.
I think you and I were splitting the rooms.
Okay.
I don't know.
We didn't really talk it out.
Okay. I think we decided that both you and I have enough daily spend that we could easily
Yes.
get rooms, so we didn't need to worry
Yes.
about it.
Okay, all right. So
We weren't concerned about, like, oh no, we'll violate the budget from the university. Like, we weren't.
We're very concerned with
You know what would
accurate
actually be
laws.
kind of useful if we actually got a spend stat from the university.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Just a loose stat that just symbolizes how much.
Right, what's your
of a
credit
stipend.
rating?
80?
Let's assume that
Dear Lord.
let's assume that the university has that credit rating.
Okay.
So while you're
That's
You're
an
as rich
additional
as the
$50 a day.
entire credit rating. Like, you're as rich as the entire university.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Me too.
And so she. For different reasons.
My book sells sort of well, at least. Maybe not as good as
people are
Gertrude
thinking
Bell.
they're buying the other book, probably.
It's
Yeah.
pulpy.
Whatever.
I feel like you.
You got the pulp adventure thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like science, but
No.
like it's thrilling.
Don't tell
Yeah.
her that.
Also, like, I feel like you have patrons.
Probably, yeah. There's probably
Because you're so magnetic and
Magnetic.
charming.
want me to come to their parties. All those
Oh
things.
yeah, that's totally still a thing.
Yeah.
All right. So it is the morning of the
The Paris
29th.
Hilton of pseudoscience.
It's not the morning of the 29th?
Sorry.
You want to do something that night before.
No, the day before was the 29th.
Oh, so it's the 30th. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll make our start date.
I mean, for someone
30
who,
days after
who just
April,
quoted the
June,
Gygax.
31. 30.
No. I didn't know if it meant you wanted to do something from the night before we moved on to the next.
Nope, it is the day we went to Abigail's was May 29th, 1923.
We did this.
No one has any evidence to be calling it 1921 prior.
I don't know. We filmed most of this.
Yeah. Well,
We ended up standing there for 2 years looking at that weird painting. And we didn't notice.
That would be amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I would totally believe that.
Yeah.
It's disturbing in many ways.
Um,
I'm glad that it is being stored in your room rather than ours.
And I think that Jim is right. We did talk about at least approaching the authorities, and I think we were fine with it the next day.
Yeah.
But
That's just the last decision that I remember.
Yes, we talked about doing that for sure. Yes.
I mean, if nothing else, these people are carrying dangerous insects into new environs with the express purpose of making people ill.
And we have evidence of her traveling from state to state with
Yellow fever.
yellow fever infected mosquitoes.
And herself most likely being infected with yellow fever.
Well, at the very least, I think we should at least try to alert the authorities about it. This does seem like a nationwide problem,
Yeah.
or at least the East Coast.
I
absolutely.
mean, how far could they get in? Though it did seem like they were traveling back up into Manhattan, so maybe they'll be able to at least round up the rest of them for questioning.
Yeah. I'm happy to provide everything we have on this wandering group of
Yeah.
insect criminals. So in the morning, I suppose we'll have breakfast and then go find an office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's got to be
Federal
like
building.
a state U.S. attorney or something.
No, I mean you can just go to regular police. Oh, there's FBI office in New York, of course.
Let's go to
Yeah.
the FBI. I mean, this does cross state lines, and I would hate to have a
I think we looked
pissing
it up
match
last
with the
time.
police.
There is an FBI.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we looked it up.
I made the mistake of confusing the founding of the CIA.
CIA, right?
Yeah.
Well, the FBI
we're
was there
quickly
during
corrected.
Prohibition.
Yes.
So you can go to an FBI office. So so you finish breakfast and you tell the boy to bring your car around, and they come back to you and they say there's a problem with your car.
What now?
There's something inside of it.
There's something inside my an animal had gotten into the
No,
garage.
insects.
Insects.
Yes.
Good heavens!
If you'd like to,
I suppose I should come see.
our the word just fell out of my head.
Manager?
No.
Mechanic?
Valet.
The valet. Our valet was unwilling to open the door to the car.
All right. Well, I can't blame him if something had happened, but let's go see.
Okay. And they take you down into the parking garage, and and as you're approaching the car, you start hearing buzzing. And sure enough, you can see that there are insects, bees, inside of the car.
Good Lord.
A lot of them.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'd probably thank the valet that took us down there.
Would you like us to call exterminator?
Yeah, yes, please.
Beekeeper.
Yeah. We're years away from worrying about colony collapse. Just gas them quickly.
Okay.
Do they look like the Africanized bees?
They're hard to tell the difference between them and regular honeybees.
Oh, okay.
They look very similar. It's more of a behavioral thing. If they swarm you and sting you multiple times for no reason whatsoever, they're African honeybees.
Okay. So there's
And
no
we're not
way
gonna
to
run that
look and see the difference?
Yeah.
So you really can't?
You'd have to get one and just looking at them
to test
flying
this theory.
around.
Where's
I
it
feel
open?
like
they
once
land
they're
on the window?
gassed, we can deal with this.
Yeah.
That's a good time to inspect. Yeah.
Because either way, having a swarm of bees in your car seems like something that should be dealt with, whether they are the weaponized bees or just regular confused bees.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who knows what kind of noxiousness these bees might be carrying.
Right.
Not
Bees
close-
carry noxiousness?
I have no idea.
All insects can. There's a possibility of it, but they're less likely to because they don't go into feces.
Cross-contaminate,
They
yeah.
don't. They go into.
They go into flowers.
Yeah,
And sometimes meat.
But they could well have been dusted by some kind of
Poison.
poison of some kind or something.
I mean, if you like your cars like you like your women. Covered in bees. I'm sorry, I could not myself. I tried.
You pose an interesting situation, but I think that the more troubling aspect of this is that your car was vandalized and now it's filled with bees, which seems to be directly linked to the MO of the people that we're chasing, which means that these people know that we're on their track and are actively trying to stop us.
And are here in the city.
Or
Whether it's that group or somebody allied with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously attempt on your life or intimidation at the very least. Although how they thought you wouldn't notice a bunch of bees before you got in your car, I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe it wasn't it wasn't meant to have multiplied so quickly.
Possible.
Or they could simply be trying to scare us off.
Yeah, it might just be sending a message more than...
Intimidation, yes. But
I feel like perhaps we should take a picture,
all right,
if you could, before
sure.
we go, and we can take a taxi to the authorities.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Try and get it through the window so you can see the bees in it.
All right. You can take several. And some of the bees up against the windows. You can get some close-ups, so
Okay.
you can give it to an entomologist and see if they can identify what kind of bees they are.
Can I roll natural worlds?
It would be photography. To figure out what they are?
Yeah.
Probably. That sounds
Just for my
fine.
time and exploring in the world.
Sure.
Nope. That's an 89.
In
They are bees.
They're bees.
I actually wanted to ask an out-of-character question.
Mm-hmm.
How do we go about advancing ourselves?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? When you make it a successful roll, you're supposed to put a check mark in a little box.
See what I have next to my archaeology?
Oh.
I used that successfully.
And then at some point, probably pretty soon, maybe after this session,
And then you roll over it and you add a pip.
you roll over. And do you add a pip or do you add a D10?
I'm not sure exactly what this
I'll have to
edition
look.
is,
I don't remember what you do.
because
Okay.
back in my room quest days, it was just 1%.
But
But you
how
would
many
use your
do you
skills more
need
than I
to do
One
that?
check mark.
As long as
Yeah.
you've
If you have
done
a
it
check mark.
successfully since the last time you advanced yourself.
Yeah, there's no
Okay.
XP or anything like
Oh,
that.
so it's like every second success you get a chance to
No,
advance.
not necessarily. It's like if you the advancement periods don't necessarily happen after every session. Usually they happen after a certain arc. So you put check marks in everything that you've gotten a success in, and then at the end of that time, you go down the list and you roll a percentile over what your skill is. So it's harder to
Okay.
advance the higher your skill level is.
That makes sense.
And then you add. I'll look before we finish. You
Yeah.
either add a point or you add a D10.
So all these boxes, I could just
All the ones.
anything I made a success in.
Everything
I
you
can
had
roll.
a skill in, yeah. And then at the end, after we do the advancing, you erase all of them and start over.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that like 3 sessions ago.
That's okay.
It's cool.
It's all good.
I just got to thinking about it,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? I don't recall.
Well, that's actually interesting because Cthulhu Mythos does not have a checkbox next to it.
No.
I understand credit rating doesn't because it's not something.
Yeah, Cthulhu Mythos, you
I've
can't.
successfully spent some money. Now I have more money to spend. It's
Yeah.
like government budgets.
Cthulhu Mythos only goes
It's like
up
capitalism.
by reading Cthulhu texts or Mythos texts. Okay, so you guys are going to take a cab to the FBI office?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And they said they've got a hold of a exterminator, and they'll be here within
We
the
should
hour.
warn the exterminator saying that these may have a possibility of being very aggressive bees.
Okay.
So you might want to take care.
Okay.
Extra precautions.
Yeah.
Right.
Bomb from only way to be sure.
Yes.
And the concierge said he will. pass
Really,
that
just
along.
set fire to the vehicle. It'll be fine.
No,
You can afford another.
not really.
You're insured.
I suppose if I have like a
Do they have
spread it
car
out over
insurance
5
up there?
days.
What? I don't know. Do they have?
I honestly
insurance?
have no idea
They may.
if car insurance exists.
There probably hasn't been enough accidents yet.
But I'm not like Mr. Toad. I don't live in a palace and drive like a maniac through the wilderness. I don't.
Yet.
No, I just want to make a game where you get to play Mr. Toad, Dave. I just want to see you
Yeah, I'll play
Mr.
Mr. Toad for sure.
Toads.
For some reason, I always found that cartoon very unsettling as a child. I was creeped the fuck out by it.
Well, and like, it's the only ride at Disneyland that sends you to hell.
Yeah.
That's true.
Straight to hell.
But by the time I went to Disneyland, it was fine. But like, between that and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I was a traumatized child.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was traumatic for a different reason.
All right, so we are.
You're going
In a
to.
We're going to the
Going to
FBI.
the-
Yes.
Yes,
We have hailed the hack.
we arrive at the FBI.
You are at the FBI office in
Very
New York
good.
City. And you go up to the.
Assume there's a reception area.
Of course. Yes.
I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but we have come to report a series of interstate crimes
Okay.
that perhaps would bear the focus of your organization.
Let me see if I can find an agent who can speak with you. May I have your name, please?
Yes, Dr. Freedman of the University of
Ravenhearse.
Ravenhearse University, not University of.
The Ravenhearse University.
Yes.
Very well. Doctor, if you please have a seat. Would you like some coffee or biscuits or...
Coffee would be wonderful.
Very well. And
I mean, at this point, are they still biscuits or are they cookies?
it might be cookies at this point. I don't know. It sounds 1920s-ish.
Old timey sounding.
Right, it does.
I just, like, I mean, if you have buttermilk, I'll take those.
Some boysenberry jam to go along.
Oh my God.
Preserves.
It's just a little old lady in the back just baking constantly, coming out with fresh hot
No,
biscuits.
seriously, when I went
for
on
guests
my
and
holidays in
visitors.
New Orleans, there was like this prunish old lady just making biscuits at the restaurant. That's all she did. She came in the morning, made biscuits, and left. And the best biscuits I've ever had in my entire
That's
life.
amazing.
Oh my God,
That's
they
how
were
it works.
amazing.
That is how it works.
Can I just buy a tray of these? Like, no, we don't do that anymore.
She's gotten too old. She's tired. She needs her
That's
stuff.
I just
too much
wanted a
work.
basket of them up in my
Nobody
room.
stayed for the rest of the food the restaurant had. They just came and bought biscuits and left.
I encountered a very similar thing at a McDonald's, believe it or not.
Really?
In Tennessee, where they had gotten as a franchise special dispensation not to use the corporate biscuits because they had this employee, she'd been working there for 20-some years, and she made... Like, I had driven through the drive-thru on the road and got just a sausage biscuit with egg, and, like, I get it, and it's this tall. And I was like... I didn't notice until I reached in the bag. I was miles down the road at that point. I reached in the bag and I pulled it out. I was like, what the... And I'm like, oh my god, it smells so good.
Let's go back. Let's go back.
I literally got off the highway, turned around and went back to ask and be like, what is the deal? And they're like, oh, and she just came out to say hi.
Say what you want about
was
the
super
South, but
awesome,
the food
yeah.
is fucking amazing.
The biscuits.
Apparently,
the fried chicken.
1898 is the first year with a car insurance policy covering liability.
Oh,
What year?
1898.
Oh, wow. Holy metric.
interesting.
All right. Okay.
Most states, though, didn't implement mandatory insurance laws until 1925.
Oh, so you still a couple of years.
All right. So we're waiting
For the Fabi.
with some cookies.
Okay.
And coffee.
And then, eventually, the same gentleman comes out and says, one of our agents can speak with you now. If you'll follow me, please.
Trump.
And you go in, it's like a farm of offices, and they lead you to an office, and it has a little plaque on the side, and it says Hoover. And they lead you in.
Wait, what?
The Hoover? the Hoover?
No, it's a little bit early for the Hoover, but
Well, he started
actually,
somewhere.
it's not that early for the Hoover to be an agent.
Okay,
Working in
well,
the Bureau of
yeah.
Investigation. I just looked it up. It started in 1919 as 24 years old.
Huh.
So there's a youngish agent sitting at the desk, and he says, yeah, I'm Agent Hoover. They said you had some sort of interstate crime you wish to report.
Yes.
And there, he motions, there's like a bunch of chairs there for you. And he asks for all of your names.
oh, get it.
Obviously.
And then spelling, in those cases where the spelling is not terribly obvious to him.
Well, this has something to do with the yellow fever outbreak that began here in New York City recently. I'm sure you read about it in the papers.
Oh yeah.
There was another outbreak of yellow fever in
Pennsylvania.
in a small
Kissel Hill.
Akron?
Kiss?
No,
Akron
Akron.
is
So,
the
yeah, Akron,
locust.
yeah.
Akron, Pennsylvania. And
heard
our university had asked us to travel into Pennsylvania to investigate unrelated event where locusts had attacked a small Amish community and were consuming their crops. In the course of that investigation, we discovered that we believe there was a group of people that perhaps brought the locusts to that location and released them.
It
And
bears
then
mentioning, I'm sorry to interrupt, that the locusts are not indigenous to this area. So they must have been brought from another location.
They were African locusts, correct?
Yes.
Also, that as we reported and turned over to the local authorities, my colleagues found a severed hand.
Buried in a pit. And I
Buried.
not buried, well, thrown into a pit.
It was
the
more of
bottom
an
of a-
underground cavern, actually.
We have some pictures, right, of this stuff.
I think you took pictures.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Okay.
Unfortunately, right now they're with the publisher, but they can be given back to you very soon.
Do you have the negatives?
Yes, I will get those.
If you could give the negatives, we could have our lab make me
Perfect.
prints. And what made you think that these individuals brought these locusts?
well, the fact that they were not of a native species to the area, and then this group of individuals had been seen in the area. They were traveling in a
Their
van or truck.
footprints. So we first became aware of the individuals in question when we found tracks and footprints leading from the tracks of a vehicle to the pit that my colleagues went down.
Where is this pit located?
In Kissel Hill, outside the farm that first experienced the locust outbreak. Infestation.
Do you have a nearby address where we could send someone?
I give them the address of the farmer that's by
Okay.
the well.
Okay.
If you travel into the woods due east from this location, you'll be able to find it.
It would be the Jordan's property.
Jordan's.
And we did hand over impressions of tire tracks and footprints to that we had taken to the local sheriff in the
Okay.
area.
Along with the severed hand.
Yes.
Okay.
It looks to be a male hand.
So, what led you to believe that whoever left these footprints brought these locusts?
Well, the owner of the farm that we noted out mentioned that he saw these people late at night driving by and stopping at the well. We assumed that they wished to refresh the water in their car or drink themselves, but upon further investigation we found tracks leading into the woods to a clearing that had a artificially made a stone arrow, and I basically just on a piece of paper just done up like this, and in the center of this was the pit that we found.
There you go.
There's a bit.
We thinking that since we were on mission from the university to find the source of these strange locusts that do not seem to be of the area, we went under an operating theory that perhaps these insects were laying dormant underground for quite some time, and whoever dug this pit revived the hive in some way. So Doris and I investigated by going into the pit, which is where we discovered the severed hand and a skull of some strange animal that is currently being analyzed.
Where is the skull?
It's at Ravenhearse University.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, the reason why we are very suspicious of this group of people that we are describing, and we have more details to come, is that one of them is actually a professor at a local university and an entomologist. And we have found evidence that he had been researching harmful species of insects for quite some time.
What's his name?
Samuel Campbell. But
What university is that? I don't know. I told you.
Well, and truth be told, at the time, well, we are currently in the story of our narration of our tale, we weren't entirely sure that they were the perpetrators. It wasn't until we made it to our next location, another small town, that was having a yellow fever outbreak.
University cable to request us to retrieve a sample of the from the yellow fever outbreak that was occurring in Akron. And during the course of that, following the university's wishes there, we found the source of the outbreak in Akron was a hotel that was visited by 7 people who seemed to match the description of from the footprints that we found in Kessel Hill. And one of those people, Abigail Amherst, when we went to see, she was the only one who hadn't checked out, and we went to speak to her, and she was dead in her hotel room.
In Akron.
Yes.
Well, and she very clearly had died from yellow fever and was attempting to spread the disease.
How is she spreading?
They're actually bowls for mosquitoes to breed in about her room, and she herself was inflicted. So she was trying to get the mosquitoes to feed on herself.
The room itself was completely infested with mosquitoes.
The hotel completely,
They burned it to the ground afterwards because there's no...
Did they preserve any of the evidence? Or remains?
That seems more like your job than ours.
I have.
It's not my job. I'm just finding out about it right now.
I have sketches of what was in the room. That I'm happy to let you examine. It's just with the obvious danger of being in the hotel with the outbreak and the swarm of mosquitoes, it just seemed less than prudent to stick around.
And you believe that this yellow fever outbreak in Akron is somehow tied to the yellow fever outbreak we had here a few months ago.
Although this particular situation seems somewhat absurd, I will also chime in that there was an obvious threat to health and safety here. I believe that the constabulary of the area wanted to handle that, and we didn't really have a clear idea that there was any crime being committed at this point. So there was no real evidence. There's no real evidence left at that location other than what we collected during our brief time there.
Well, and it's not
In
really.
Akron.
It really wasn't our purpose there to collect evidence. We would have been sent by
We
the
had been
university.
About
collect a sample of the, or possibly a patient, in order to study the yellow fever outbreak itself.
Yeah.
Was our primary mission.
But how do you think this links to the... We're talking interstate crime. How does this link to the New York outbreak?
Abigail Amherst's former beau, Hector Barajas, he was one of the first victims of the Manhattan yellow fever outbreak.
And she was a resident of apartment address.
And, okay.
And this was,
So you think that...
a week before, 2 weeks before the outbreak in Akron itself.
And on our travels out of Akron, before coming here to the city, we passed through a small roadside stop of a town that, upon some further investigation, they had seen a similar group of people in a similar vehicle, and we had traveled...
They were headed back this way.
But we had traveled up out of the little town a little ways and discovered, and this is in the state of New York, that apparently these people had left a body strewn across a river
It polluted the water.
Yeah,
People
so
were...
intoxicated
one person
or whatever.
died after contact with both the water and the
Of
water.
yellow fever?
No, apparently I think this guy had this. Did this guy have like the plague? Didn't
Yes.
he have,
I believe you rolled horribly
I did.
on your diagnosis rolls.
Yes.
Well,
I
he was
recall that.
diseased in some way, shape, or form,
Yes.
and that disease was being spread
Even-
through the water.
Not bad enough that you wouldn't recognize it if it was yellow fever,
Right.
we'll say. So, okay.
Since I'd just seen yellow fever. I remember
Right.
we talked
Well, it was
about
something
that.
hemorrhagic because he was
Yes.
he had
He'd
sores.
gotten, he was...
Yeah.
So there was at least one victim in the grips of this disease spread by this corpse upriver.
And you gave this all this information. Did you did you
We called
contact
the police.
local?
Yeah.
Yeah, we-
Throughout
we-
every step, we've
yeah.
called the police. Yes.
Yes.
So the local...
And they have the remains of this body. In
It's
the,
been burned as well. The body had a distinctive tattoo.
I draw it out. The question mark on a tin cup.
right.
Yeah.
Jar.
Jar.
It matches the Abigail Amherst had at the time.
Did you guys have? I seem to think you may have photographed that.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
That is also with my publisher, but I will make sure that you get the negatives for that as well.
You might have the negatives. You probably have all the negatives.
Yeah.
On top of all of this, the vehicle that we've been using throughout this has been vandalized twice.
In the last
Here
day.
in
In
City.
the last day in the city, the tires were slashed, and when we came to board the vehicle to come see you, we discovered the garage attendees told us that there was a large swarm of bees inside the car inexplicably, and the valet was unwilling to open the door, obviously. We were forced to take a taxi.
You don't know how the bees got in there.
No, but we do know that Samuel Campbell actually brought in a large collection of black bulldog ants and African honeybees. Samuel Campbell being one of the group that traveled through Castle Hill into Akron, stayed at Akron with Miss Amherst, and then continued on his way.
We
Did
should
you guys
also
keep the
provide-
hotel registry in Akron?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did. Okay.
I did.
That's
He's
what
going
I
to
was
ask
about
for
say, we
that.
should
Oh, I gave it to
provide
him.
that.
Okay.
And several other people on that list are also residents local to New York.
Can we... Okay, sidebar for a second. I feel like on our way to the FBI office, even though we didn't think of actually doing it here at the stable, I feel like we would have agreed whether we were going to bring up having visited Abigail's apartment.
No one's mentioned it yet.
I know, that's what I meant.
I wasn't going to unless somebody else did.
Nope, that's how people end up in jail.
I know, I'm just... Okay. I'm also worried, though, that...
But I'm perfectly happy to go, here's an address that she resided
I already
and
gave
have
them the
and
address.
have them investigate.
Pierce
'Cause
Murray.
other than
Pierce
taking the
Murray's
picture, we
only
really
other
didn't
one of the
disturb
group that
anything
lived
there.
in Manhattan.
we walked around a lot, but also...
But the rest were somewhat
the-
local-ish, right?
The bowls we didn't
We had
have.
one in
the
White Plains.
building
or
They're
manager
something?
all
let us
New
in.
York locals, like of the state of New York, but the only
Yeah,
other
yeah.
Manhattan resident was Pierce Murray.
So if we can, like, this flashback, this is us in the car on the way to the
Like,
FBI.
I don't know if it...
I feel like
in
there's an
character, I don't know if it's a
unspoken
really
agreement.
good idea that we should keep it from the FBI.
You are the only one
That-
who
I
might
mean,
be safe from such.
Well, my thought is that we did have the building manager let us in.
Well, we
I mean,
didn't break it.
No, we didn't break in. So
But we did take the painting.
Yeah, but we don't have to tell them
Nobody
that.
knows about that, not
Yeah.
even the building manager.
Yeah. But so the building manager can identify us, say that they let us in. So I think we should say that we
yeah,
went
we
there.
should come clean.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because they're gonna. If we lie, they're gonna
And-
automatically go, "What the fuck?"
We can go on to say that we discovered this information about Samuel Campbell in the files and information we found in this apartment we visited.
Back to it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually all about full disclosure as much as we possibly can. But I think that was the only real hinky thing we did is sort of like going to
I didn't
somebody's
think
house.
you
I
should
without
will
permission.
go with the consensus of the group, obviously.
It does make me feel nervous though.
If the building manager hadn't seen us, I would say we not say anything. But
Yeah. But
if we had broken in, like I had suggested,
And during our time visiting that apartment when we
That
discovered
assumes
this
no one would have seen us.
this information
We
on
are
Mr.
rather-
Campbell, that's when the
noticed.
car was first vandalized.
Ah.
Two of the tires facing the sidewalk were slashed, and I had to replace them.
That is kind of a rough neighborhood. It may not be related. It could be.
just
but it's
Just
possible.
considering
bees
the
seem to
bee
be a little
problem
bit-
later.
well, and even more strangely, like when we went upstairs, there were similar bowls to the ones we had found with the mosquitoes in Amherst about the apartment. They had long dried out, but the window was open, or no, the window was closed, but there were a large number of mosquito bodies everywhere. She'd obviously been breeding them here as well,
Ah.
which is why we think that she may also have been patient zero in the affliction that hit New York.
Okay.
I mean, it's not overly difficult to transmute yellow fever from patient to patient, but it's not normally as contagious. Not without the mosquitoes. And for her to deliberately breed them in her home?
Oh, yeah. That's definitely unusual. I'll need some contact information from all of you. If I have follow-up questions, also in order to get, or if you can give me the information of your publishers, then I can get photos through them.
Absolutely.
Whatever would be. Is it in New York?
Yes.
That might
of
be
course.
easier.
I'll ring them and make sure that you have full access to copies of all the negatives so they continue with their publication and you can also do your investigation.
And I'd also like to send someone by to follow up. Maybe I'll have I'll contact local police department and have them come and check out this bee situation with your car.
We had called for an exterminator, so they will probably be samples soon.
That's fine. We usually can't get much out of them anyway.
Right.
Let's see.
It's a bureau joke.
That's very good. I like that.
All right. Well, if I have any more questions, I'll be in touch.
He'll be in touch. Is that another joke?
No, it wasn't. Not at all.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Bees.
Be in touch.
Yes.
Oh.
Out of character, I had no idea where the joke was in that.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
was just like,
I was like, be in touch. Touch?
I was like, what? Is the FBI known for? Like, what? I don't.
Be in touch. All right.
All right. Thank you for your time, and if we have more questions, I will be in contact with you.
Hold on, out of character. Did we share any of the information with the people across the pond in those correspondences that we found?
I feel like all of that's just going to make it sound crazy.
That's a tenuous connection.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
This
because it's the
weird
only other element of the
cult
story.
moving painting business should stay our business for the time being.
Actually, I think you're the only one privy to the moving painting thing.
I have definitely said something.
Okay.
I just really like the painting. I think it's awesome.
I'm concerned about that as well.
I just think it's weird that you all like it so much.
I don't like it at all. I think it should be destroyed, honestly.
I'm not super
It's
smart,
unholy,
so
and I don't
I
like
did really well on my sanity check.
I mean, I'm just saying, those of us who are not
Idiots.
interested in the painting find your interest in the painting very
disconcerting.
disturbing.
Somewhat
Yeah.
disturbing.
There is a disturbance.
Yeah. That painting does not make me happy in any way, shape, or form. It is unholy and evil. It should be destroyed.
moved.
It just is bad. Like, it's just not. There's a monster. Why is there a monster at the poor boat? It's silly. It's like a child drawing. I don't know why someone.
I
very
find it interesting.
I find your viewpoint very reassuring, Doris.
I find it fascinating because of its connection to the known patient survivor of the Titanic. That there's never been any.
Oh, and also, are we going to disclose the very tenuous connection between the serial killings and the
I mean, I
ritualistic
feel like it's such a tenuous connection. It would just divert attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
trying
mean,
to think of all the
it's
details
like
that
an
we've come across
arrow.
and whether
I mean,
we
maybe
want to
the
talk about it.
arrows, and then because obviously he's going to see it in my drawings, her photographs. Like, say there were arrows pointing in the direction the insects went. There were arrows pointing in the direction of Akron. There were arrows, like, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
You know what?
But not like, oh, hey, they were placed in the exact same way as the serial killer from 10 years ago. Like,
Can we? We didn't talk about this at the time, Stu, but now my brain is thinking about it. The orientation of all the arrows.
Mm-hmm.
the first one pointed west. The second one pointed... I'm going to look it up, but the third one pointed towards Castle Hill.
Have we mapped out what's along the lines of all of those arrows?
We can certainly do that.
Yeah, we kind of did that a little last week.
Well, we mapped out places where we found things, but
Yeah.
specifically the
Not what
directions
direction the V
of the
shape.
V's.
Because all the stones are in that like flying V formation.
Which way is north in this?
So that was very smart. Good job, Pooja.
Can I say I like to keep this? I'm the librarian. What do you want from me?
I put little arrows next to the dots on where the what direction they were pointing.
Oh. That's not
Helpful.
Yet.
I mean, it's
Since
possible
Kissel
we
Hills
just
was
don't
pointed-
have enough points of information.
No, I think that the arrows might be indicative of the direction that they want whatever this is to move towards.
Well, that definitely seems true from the locusts.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I suppose, difficult to tell from the rest.
I was just curious if we looked at this and all the arrows were convergent somewhere.
Right.
That maybe somewhere that bears
I can't help but
investigating.
feel very relieved that they are not.
Yeah.
Okay. So he thanks you.
Parsippany Troy Hills. Was that the place with the body?
Yes,
The
the
stream
body
body,
stretched
yeah.
across the creek. Yeah.
I say the body like there was just one.
Okay. So he thanks you and gets all your contact information so that he can get it to all of you, probably telegram or
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the future if he has more questions. And then back to the
Hotel.
the hotel, the Grand Plaza.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
And we'll see what the situation is with the bees.
You arrive, and the concierge recognizes you immediately and says, "Ah, yes, your car has been. They're cleaning it out now. the exterminator was here. They were rather aggressive. He was bit about 12 to 15 times.
Oh, wow.
The exterminator.
We tried to warn him.
Oh well, no, we did convey your warning to him. I don't know if he thought they were going to be quite as aggressive as they were.
May we have some samples of the? We would like to keep a few of the corpses.
Oh, it's all down there. I can take you down.
Please.
Let's go.
And all the doors are open. The boot is up, and there's a box, like sitting behind the trunk. It like one of those beehive boxes. It's like painted white and has all the little slats on it where the bees can go in and out and enjoy themselves and do all this. Cool
So he
stuff.
like live harvested them.
No, I
Oh,
think
no,
that's
no.
where they came from.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I-
well, the
I-
exterminators.
yeah.
The exterminators. He's got welts all over his face.
Somebody put a beehive in the
my
back
car.
of your car.
In the boot of the car. Okay.
Yeah, I opened one door and I started spraying them. And they came after me, and I kept spraying. I noticed I kept coming. I'd get the place cleared out, and then keep coming, and I finally realized they're coming from behind the back seat. I opened up the trunk. Then I really got stung.
Oh my goodness, you poor
Okay.
man.
But there's a cleaning crew right now that's like scooping up all the dead bees out of the place and buffing everything down.
I know this seems. I mean, you must deal with so much worse in your line of work. But I can't help but feel like you should go to the doctor. To the hospital.
Oh, I've been stung before. I mean, I haven't been stung this much, but
It's just a really bad feeling. It would make me feel so much better, especially since you've helped us out so much. Do we have any kind of charm? Nope.
I swear, dude, I want to go total the dude on this guy. I said, dude, there's strange shit afoot.
No one is going to believe that.
Yeah.
I can only attempt to be
I'm
very
not gonna, but I
appreciative and
do you
solicitous
have
of
persuade?
your own help.
Make your persuade roll.
Oh, persuade! I was like, if I have to charm someone, I'm so screwed.
You have it by default at 10%.
I mean, persuade I have a 55. Charm is 15. So
Five is
like,
pretty good. Yeah.
55 seems like a better option.
And I would get
It's
you.
42. I win.
Oh, he did. Did you?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Secrets of the universe and everything.
He relents and he says that he will, as soon as he gets off work today, he will go and see a doctor.
I'll offer to get him a cab myself
Okay.
and give him some money for the rest of the day's work.
What? Is there something I should know about these bees?
No, we're concerned that someone would fill my car with bees maliciously, and that now they were so aggressive that they attacked you so many times. I don't want anything else bad to befall you because of.
Oh.
We
these
think it might have been
hooligans.
an attempt on his life, so, you know.
Well, a lot of people die from bee stings.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Don't.
So, why would someone try and attempt his life?
Maybe it's a prank. It was kids, maybe.
How many kids
not
have a
not a lot of people die
beehive?
from yellow fever nowadays, but we had an outbreak the other day.
Better safe than sorry. Plus, it's free. It's on
You
his
don't.
dime.
You don't think they're carrying yellow fever, do you?
No, bees aren't yellow fever carriers.
We have no idea.
Historically, bees are not yellow fever carriers.
Wait, but we find strange new things in science every day.
Just go to the doctor.
He'll let you call him a cab. Okay.
Hey, dumbass, he's a doctor. Do what he says.
Well, that doesn't help. Most
No,
people.
I didn't actually say that to him.
No, out of character. Stoke the flames of fear
Yeah,
so that he does what you want.
exactly.
Try to burst past his toxic masculinity and make him go and see a doctor.
Yeah.
I had Africanized honeybees in my backyard in La Mirada before I moved, and I got stung like 8 times.
Dang.
I got stung in the armpit once.
And he didn't get yellow fever, so
didn't
we
get
should be
yellow
fine.
I had a swarm of bees in my bedroom in an apartment I lived in a few years ago.
Oh, I had something in the wall.
I think so. I mean, the apartment manager tried to be like, you kept your window open and they came in through the window. And I was like, there was no hole in the screen. they were definitely living in the wall, and then broke through to my bedroom. I walked back in and because I'd heard this weird buzzing noise and I thought it was a fan.
Oh, yeah.
So I walked in and was like, there are hundreds of bees. I mean, they were covering the windows.
Oh, yeah.
I just slowly closed the door, and I went and got a blanket and stuffed it underneath the crack and called my daddy. And my best friend. And the landlord.
So now we have a ride back.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it.
Now,
I will take the train.
the crate that the beehive was in, before the guy leaves, is, do you want the crate, or...
Do you have any markings on it?
There's a name right on the side of it.
Okay, what is that name?
Carruthers Honey Farm, Montgomery, New York.
Before the guy goes to the hospital, I will ask him if he's at all familiar with the Carruthers establishment.
Yeah, I mean, it's out that way a ways, and he kind of vaguely points northwest. I mean, that they sell Carruthers honey at the market. I'm assuming it's the same place.
Pointing northwest from where we are, is he talking about Harlem, or is he talking about
more
upstate
distant?
New York.
Upstate? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
across the river.
Yeah,
Okay.
like not quite halfway between Ravenhearse and the city.
Very good.
Carruthers.
Caruthers apostrophe S. Carruthers is...
Honey farm.
I'm going to stick around this area until whatever police or FBI people that
Okay.
the investigator said he was going to send over here, make sure that...
All right. Sometime early afternoon, a police officer shows up.
All right, and I go, officer, are you here to investigate about the car and the bees?
Yes, I am.
If you follow me.
Mm-hmm.
I take him down over there. I'm assuming that we've already collected samples of some of the dead bee things, and I hand him a jar.
Right.
I show him the box. This is the hive that was somehow surreptitiously put into the trunk of the car.
Has anyone tried to identify whether these are the African bees or not?
No, that was
I tried. I failed.
idea that we could try and do. Is perhaps we could take them to the local university and see if there's a
Entomologist? Etymologist?
Well, if we're heading to the bee farm anyway, if they're not involved, then they might be able to tell us.
I would rather go to a neutral party, someone we could trust.
Yeah.
Personally.
As a group of visiting academics.
Yeah.
We could probably.
Does anyone in do you know that he's talking to Isadore, the officer? Do you know this Carruthers honey farm? Anyone there?
We don't know have any personal connections with this Carruthers Farms whatsoever. We just became aware of it once the exterminator pointed out that there was the name on the side of the beehive. He told us that they're located somewhere upstate.
No one's made any enemies lately, or
We've been looking into several things that seem odd.
what?
We're working with the FBI. It's confidential.
All right.
Indeed, we have made all of the information available to the FBI. We believe that there's an ongoing investigation. I give him the card of the FBI officer. If you want information, you should contact him. He has everything.
Okay. All right. And he's going to want probably need that box.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We've taken the information we can get from it.
it seems prudent to have it vacate the premises.
Actually, I want to give the box a thorough look-see. I want to see if there's
Like a
anything.
spot hidden.
Yeah.
Sure.
$79. Nope.
There's bees in it, and it says Carruthers Honeycomb on the side. It's
I'm
painted
going
white
to.
with holes.
I'm going to try.
I just figured. Just trying to be coy.
25
Out of your 65?
under my 65.
Okay.
I can't help but feel like this is going to come back to bite me later.
Probably literally.
No, a sting is not a bite.
We still have to find the not bullet ants, the
Bulldog? Whatever?
bulldog ants. That's it.
It's filled with bees, dead now.
Thank
Like looking through it, I don't know. Does your character know anything about etymology at all?
Not particularly. I did a lot of research before we left, and I took copies of stuff, but I don't have a science knowledge of etymology. It's just the research I did before we
Okay.
embark on each of these journeys.
There's not a lot of bees left inside. Most of them had left to go attack the exterminator. The one thing you notice is there is no queen in there.
And the other thing I would like to just confirm that there is no the Riddler symbol
No.
is not inside this box. The
Question mark in a jar.
yeah.
No.
Someday we'll discover what that symbol means, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Or at least like what it
No, I
was
have a
called, so
feeling-
we have a name for
I have a
it.
feeling that once we discover what that symbol means,
We'll all
We're
be
all
the
in
same.
trouble. Yeah.
yeah.
But does the symbol, since you told us a lot about it, is there like a basic name that we can call it rather than me calling it the
Well, that's true. You did do a lot
the
of research
tentacle
about
Riddler?
Yeah, I'm assuming there are a lot of different names.
There are several names for it.
Is there one that particularly catches my eye?
You can pick one, whatever prominent name that you look at that you think it might be called. You can absolutely do that right
Okay.
now.
All right.
I'm glad I'm not the antiquities expert.
Yeah, I
Me
know.
too. I'm like, wow. I'm basic.
Or you
knowledge.
can the actual name if
Okay.
you know it from the mythos.
I don't know
You
it
don't?
off the top of my
Oh.
head. I know what it is. I just don't know the name of the symbol off the top of my head.
Oh, I don't know if the symbol itself has a name.
Oh,
but I
it
know-
does.
It does, and
Oh.
it's related to Haster, I believe. But I don't know what the name of the symbol is.
The yellow sign.
The yellow sign.
Is this like the Yellow King?
That would possibly.
My
No,
character
that
doesn't
would
know
be
anything about
Dave.
that.
I mean, that was out of
Character-wise,
character. I do
yeah, I
not
don't-
want to go and say it already.
I don't know anything about any of that.
Also
In
known as the
character.
King in Yellow.
The tattoo.
Yes, the King
Or
in
the
Yellow.
King clad in yellow. Or
No.
Master.
I
You're
should
the
find
king
that
of
necklace.
yellow.
I'll wear that necklace.
Of everything.
Of everything yellow.
All right.
So there was no queen in this hive,
Okay, so he's got.
which is rather odd.
looked at the
I mean,
box,
they
he
were
takes it,
made
he's
to-
gone.
We've taken some samples of the bees, though.
Yes.
Oh, you've got. Yeah, there's all kinds of bees. There's plenty of bees.
There's a lot of samples to go around. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
Plenty of bees.
I'm
all
still
right.
not getting in that car. Out of character, I was finding bees like months later in my apartment.
Well, yeah, but
And
that's
in
'cause-
character, it smells real bad in there.
Well, it is an open air car. It's not going to smell bad for very long.
I just feel like today is not the day for me to get back in that car. If we are going back to the university, I shall take the train.
Well, I don't think we're going back to the university.
We're going to.
I think we need to.
Weren't we going to go to like New York University or someplace like local?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
So do we need? Yeah. Can I roll to see if I'm famous enough to have contacts here?
That would be your credit rating, I would think.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
How do I?
yeah!
How do I roll my credit rating?
Just roll it. Well, how high is it?
Where is it?
80.
I think it's high. Yeah, it's 80. 80.
It's
Yours and mine are the same.
left,
It's 80.
middle, down.
Yeah, there you go. The one without the boxes.
Yes. Sorry. Credit rating. Oh no, it's 55.
55? Yeah, I'd make you roll it.
Oh, that's it.
It's still the same.
It's like the bracket.
Yeah, the bracket.
You're like at one end of the bracket, and I'm at the other end of the
Yeah.
bracket. But we're still the same bracket.
Oh,
Oh,
What'd you
speaking
roll?
of 80s,
80
you said the word 80 too many times.
Oh, yeah, they.
the dice were like,
The
oh,
dice
this
heard
is
me.
what you
I'm
want.
sure I know somebody.
I know a lot of people. I don't know any entomologists.
Probably.
I know some people who played entomologists in movies.
Oh, yeah.
53.
There you
Okay.
go.
Now, you don't know an entomologist, but you know someone who has
like Columbia
a
or
drinking
something.
buddy who
Yeah.
is an entomologist. So.
It's maybe somebody I went to Yale with.
Oh, there you go. Sure.
You Yale people always bringing up the fact that you went to Yale.
Yeah.
You're not saying that enough. I can
You
dock
say
you
I have the
experience
British
points for
manners
that.
of a Yale.
I don't get to advance this time because I didn't.
She didn't mention the fact that you went to Yale enough.
I feel like we should like homebrew those roles for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yes.
if your doctor doesn't
absolutely.
introduce themselves as doctor,
Right.
you lose your advancement.
Especially when you're making reservations for a restaurant.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you can go to local university.
Yeah, find somebody.
NYU or something like
Get
that.
into a biology lab or something.
Sure.
Even if it's like a grad student that could look at the bee,
Sure.
something. I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know.
Yeah, you know.
We're a very astute librarian.
And use them as a proxy to make a biology roll.
Okay. All right.
Whatever their rating would be.
Yeah, that's probably enough. Africanized honeybees. Or African honeybees.
Africanized.
Is
That's
there
what we
anything-
call them now because they started breeding, I think. Isn't that why
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were breeding with regular honeybees?
Yes.
But
How
they're African
odd
honeybees.
is it for a hive of even African honeybees to travel without a queen in the hive?
Almost impossible.
How long could they survive?
Day or two, max. If they stuck around, they're going to go where the queen goes. And they'll do that they'll migrate to wherever the queen is within an hour.
If they can.
Yes.
But if they're, say, trapped inside a vehicle,
They would become very agitated and they would eventually die.
but
Usually
it
within a
would
day or
take
so.
within a day or two.
Yeah, roughly. Depending on the conditions. But they're going to do everything they can to get to the queen. And they can actually detect the queen quite some distance away.
Quite some distance, like several miles?
Yes.
Or okay.
Well, maybe we should have gotten in the car.
I mean, we haven't had
I'm
experience
just
to see
saying.
exactly how far, but
There might still be one or two left alive in there.
I mean, these things aren't particularly deadly unless they're in high numbers.
Well,
Or unless
that's
they've
another
been
specific
dosed with
question I'd
something.
like to ask. Does anything seem unusual about the bee? Does it have anything on it? Does it seem like... Because I know that bees sort of have the hairy abdomen, that's how they end up pollinating things, more by accident than on purpose.
right.
Like, is there anything stuck to it that's unusual, anything like that?
Any tiny tattoos of cult symbols on the bees?
There's a spot hidden roll.
Ah!
Nope, looks
Oh.
good.
Nothing at all.
Oh, wow.
Rolled a
Thanks so much for your
95.
help.
The grad student doesn't have a 95 in spot hidden.
You bastard.
It'd be scarier if he did.
Yes.
Yeah. What kind of grad student are you?
He's just like...
He works for what will be the CIA.
Yeah.
He's like the modern adaptation of Sherlock Holmes. He just notices everything. He's like,
Everything.
I've never met you before, but I think your left foot is slightly higher than your right.
Okay.
I believe you had a horrific accident when you were a child. Maybe 13.
All right. Well, I'd thank the grad student for his time and take back our sample bee.
Okay. Well, you probably have a jar with like
Yeah.
60 of them or something.
Yeah. But still, I don't want to leave it here.
The whole jar?
No,
You give
the
them
whole
more?
jar,
The
or
bee.
even the
Give them some.
Why?
Why?
We don't have a lot of African honeybees. We can use
I'm still super suspicious about these bees. I don't want bees left willy-nilly across the countryside.
We're doing some experimentation as of right now. If we have any left over, I'll be certain to send them to you.
Okay.
All right.
He's going to try and steal the bee, isn't he?
Yeah, but you spot him. He tries to take a bee.
Listen, son.
It's for your own good.
Well,
and also, stealing is a moral sin.
You didn't complain about stealing my labor.
I was.
We asked you for your help, and you freely gave it. If you wanted compensation negotiated up front like any normal adult person does.
He's a grad student. He's not an adult.
This time period, he is.
The implication here is if he wants to pass the class that my friend is the professor, he looks at the bee for us.
Right.
Learn to negotiate your worth up front. And in the future, don't lower yourself to attempt to steal what you cannot have. Legitimately.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Kind of like a
Good day.
chutzpah. Next time I take a trip to Africa, if you'd like to come along, if you pass your classes.
Oh, I passed my class.
Yeah, legitimately.
All right.
Why does this A look suspiciously like a C?
C's get degrees. That's still passing. That's not a lie.
C's get degrees.
He's still passing his classes.
True.
D is for diploma.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Anywhere else?
I have to make up for past sessions. He is just a grad student at Columbia.
That's true.
It's not like he's going to Yale.
All right.
Okay.
All right. After we leave, the way I see it, we have a couple of possibilities of what our next course of action is. One, we have the address of the person that lives in White Plains. This I don't remember which one it was.
Drake Lambert. But we also have the address of Pierce Murray and Samuel Campbell
That are both also local.
that are Manhattan residents.
Well, I feel like we should track down the attempt on our lives first and visit this bee farm.
But yeah, but Samuel Campbell is also the one that took delivery of Africanized bees before.
African bees.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes, but if they're actively breeding them at this bee farm, that seems like a bit more of a pressing matter. He may, in fact, even be there because he must be the. So funny. Sorry. He's probably the person responsible for continuing to propagate them.
Also, this, and I hate to seem cowardly, seems to be most likely dangerous course of investigation. They may be in possession of more of these highly volatile insects or more.
I have had a near miss with one set of these insects, and if we go in as prepared as possible, I feel like at least I would appreciate it. My nerves would.
Oh, so get a whole set of
I think that
insect-resistant gear. That does make sense.
I mean, before we had to share one set of gear between all four of us.
and it was sort of like a mishmash of
And what we could piece together, yeah.
Yeah, let's actually go into something prepared. That should be a novelty.
I'm sure Macy's or Gimbals has exterminator gear.
Oh, beekeeping
Yeah.
gear?
Yeah.
I mean, you
Or
got-
just like
I'm sure it's
basic, like, because if we get stuff that's, I don't think we need like a full set of, so long as we get like long sleeve gloves, long trousers, high socks, and then it's a matter of just covering
This thing.
from like your bust area. But I mean bust is in like the art bust, not
Yeah.
boobs.
Yeah.
I would hope that the long sleeve shirt would cover
The boobs. I mean, I'm just
That's
saying
a
you'd
real
be
weird
surprised.
cut. It'd be really odd. The French
You'd-
are trying something new this year.
You'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah, it's
The gaping holes. The gaping holes.
the very low cut. Yeah.
the long sleeve.
Also, when you have a button up, and it's just like. Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop.
The buttons.
Well, I know that pain.
Yeah.
But how
In
big?
fact, it just happens lower.
Right.
There you go.
And less people tend to want to look.
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
I said less, not none.
Get me more of that bubbly. Bring it out.
Fewer.
Everybody's somebody's fetish.
Indeed.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, you can easily find like mosquito netting and stuff like that, and
Okay.
Yeah.
get pith helmets or whatnot. Which is probably what you would. You
pith
probably
helmets.
drape. Oh, you probably get a wide brim.
Yeah,
and
they're,
then drape over.
they're
Yeah.
wide brim. They're
Right.
not the pith helmets. They're just like they're like big sun hat things.
Okay.
And then maybe like a little something to attach it to at the bottom, so there's not.
We get some.
I mean, I
safety
don't think
pins.
there's Velcro yet, but you know what I
We can
mean.
get some
Yeah.
safety pins and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think Velcro was invented until like the
No.
50s.
Yeah.
I believe it was
Space.
after.
Space program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Space. So yeah, you can get all that stuff, and I'm sure that's under someone's daily spend.
Just as a warning to everybody, no one's shooting anyone right
No,
now.
we're opening Prosecco. It's fine. Oh,
Yay.
that's fine. We
That
opened-
was much better than the last
Yeah,
one.
Last one was just super angry.
Over,
Yeah.
over
Also,
one
for some
too
reason,
long
in the
ago.
corner of my eye, I felt like the cork went this way, and I actually ducked.
It's a good reflex.
I mean,
Kimmy
it's
mic
that
that
or
one.
punch people, and I'm sure Kimmy appreciates the not punching.
Not punching. Yeah.
Next week or 2 weeks from now,
Don't punch
Saber
Kim.
one.
No.
No. People don't actually want that in their ears.
No, not here. Outside. They make a mess.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, I suppose I could just buy a $5 bottle of sparkling wine.
Yeah, you
and-
lose most of the actual drinking with that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
Well,
ideally,
no,
like,
I mean,
according
if
to...
you're real good at it. you could
According
do
to
it,
the
but-
people who I went to this food festival and they had this whole thing about wine and salmon, but whatever. The sparkling wine part of that was that you want it to make as little of a sound as possible
Right.
because you're releasing as little of the gas that is inside as possible. And that's the highest form. So all this ooh, let's pop the cork across the room, let's do this, let's do that, is actually making your experience worse.
Well, you just got to have it super, super cold because the colder liquid is, the more CO2 it absorbs.
Retains.
So I now have an awesome, even more awesome than I had before, insect outfit.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Fashionable.
So you all have gloves, long sleeve shirts, and all of the various accoutrements that you need to be able to walk through swarms of bees without getting overly stung.
Pick up a couple of smoke canisters too.
Okay.
I mean, we could get the. Oh, where is Why Must You Kill Me right now? There's a tree resin that beekeepers use to in smokers to placate bees.
Oh, yeah.
And I know because out of character, that's what they use for smoke in film.
This,
So, it smells real good.
the guy that came, we had a beehive at fair in our stack of pallets, and the guy that came and got it,
Yeah, almost had us back on track.
I'm sorry, he was burning cardboard inside his thing,
Yeah.
and the bees were like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he dipped it in something, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it could just be the smoke, but the stuff that we use on set is like a specific tree resin that is also used in beekeeping.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
But I'm just going to call it amber for lack of a better
Word.
amber resin for lack of the actual term. So we could get that and put it in some smokers.
Sounds good.
How many smokers are you going to get?
One each.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aren't they just little?
Yeah,
No, it's just
a little.
It's not even a. It's not a. It's like a pump thing where you have
It's like a
it's a
bellows.
canister. It's
Yeah.
more of a bellow situation
Oh, okay.
because it's rather than like a spray thing like for old fashioned mosquito sprayer. it's pushing air through like coals.
Oh, okay. All right, interesting.
All right. So you have 4 of those,
Today has been weird. No?
and you start. Are you guys heading out there now?
Might as well. I suppose we should hire a new car.
Okay. Really going to abandon your car?
I'm not getting in it today.
Abandoning it. We're letting it be cleaned.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But there were no. I do want to
there was a
check.
crew.
to be
There was a crew
detailed.
Can
there
I
cleaning
check?
it.
Like, there were no other live bees that were found in there that we could use to track it back to the queen.
Let me see how thorough a job the cleaning
Roll
crew at the
dice.
hotel, Crown Plaza Hotel.
Well, sure.
I mean, it is the Crown Plaza.
I don't think it's a Crown. It's just the Plaza.
The Plaza Hotel. Okay. That Crown Plaza's here, out here.
Yeah, Crown is a brand.
Okay. They did a very thorough job. You can't even smell the insecticide they used. It smells like pine.
I am going to be irrational and say, I'm not getting back in that car. Also, it could only behoove us not to use the same vehicle that they vandalized twice.
And they clearly know what
They
it
know
looks
what
like.
it looks like. That's exactly where I think. I don't think it's irrational at all. I think it's completely rational. This is obviously something that is a known factor and will open us up to attack if we keep traveling around in it.
I will stop by the concierge and give him some money to tip the cleaning crew
Okay.
and ask if it's possible if they could keep going by and checking on the car. The rest of the
Certainly, yeah.
since this has happened, it's very strange.
I mean, this obviously happened on their watch to begin with.
Did it? Did we look in the trunk after we...
Isn't that where
at
you
the
stored the
apartment?
painting? In the boot?
Yeah.
I thought we
The
just
painting
rolled
is
it up.
big. I think the painting's too big to
I
fit in the boot.
strapped it on the
okay.
back.
Oh, that's
Probably, yeah.
My bad.
That painting,
I mean, it's
big.
It's like a 5x3.
Yeah.
Well, we did ride back in the car, so I think at least some of the bees would have escaped by then. Maybe
Maybe.
not.
The likelihood is high that the bees were introduced while we were at the hotel, probably overnight at some point.
Indeed.
And since we now know that the queen wasn't with the hive, we also know that the duration of this particular trap was fairly short, so they were counting on us using the car relatively quickly.
I mean, I suppose you could assume at that point, if this was a trap rather than just a warning, that Samuel Hamill would not be involved in this particular situation because he would have known that the bees would have swarmed prior to us getting into the car in the morning.
I don't know.
I also think that it's likely that they were that at this point they're trying to simply intimidate us or make us think that investigating this any further would be not worth the risk.
I do have to admit that
It's frankly working a little for me.
same.
But I have no doubts, especially after the grisly aftermath of several of the things that we've seen, that it's obvious these people have absolutely no qualms with taking human life whatsoever. So we're not, although I do think that they probably would think that it would be, especially since we've been rather intimate with a lot of the things that they've been doing, if we've spread word of what we've been discovering, killing us outright would probably put eyes on them that they would rather not want to have.
Either way, I suppose we could spare one more day from the university in order to investigate the honey farm. But really, I must get back. I mean, I had my exhibit.
We all have things to do with the university. I have undergraduates that I haven't even spoken to in days. But would it be maybe prudent to call the local constabulary where this farm is at and maybe be escorted by some officers, since there was obviously an attempt to injure us?
I mean, what are we going to say?
We
We found
our
a hive of some bees. I mean, just like the exterminator believed, they'll write it off as a prank.
Well,
Sure.
And
how useful are they going to be if something more sinister is going on anyway?
I also don't think necessarily that these people are going to be directly involved from the bee farm. Because, I mean, yes, up to this point, there have been very intelligent, somewhat conniving people involved in all this. They've been able to transport diseases and without detection.
If the bee farm itself is involved, they were fairly stupid in leaving their logo on
Exactly.
the beehive.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Very nice.
But you know who would, I suppose, be interested in the connection is Agent Hoover.
Indeed.
And we might as well send a message to his office, or maybe give him a call. Did he give us his number?
You have his card.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would be. Yeah, we should share that information with him. But the officer that he dispatched to check out the car, I was assuming would report.
Oh, was that from him? Sorry, I
He
thought
said
that
he-
was from
he
the
said he was
locals.
gonna- yeah,
Yes,
he said he was
he was going to
gonna
contact
send
local law
someone.
enforcement and have them send someone back.
So I'm assuming that information
It
has
has
already
that
reached him.
information,
Yeah.
I trust the local law enforcement about as far as I could throw a cow.
It can't hurt to
Just give him a call.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But
Well, what time is it by now?
Oh, it's probably like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I am concerned about what we're going to find at the honey farm. Because if they were just being duped, that's one thing. If they were,
Yeah, the best case scenario is, oh yeah, I had a guy come in here and buy a hive of bees last week.
worst case scenario, we find everybody dead.
Right.
Of the plague.
I'm fine if it makes you feel that much more comfortable, Dr. Litton. Let's just. There's no harm in calling and having them meet us out there.
Saying we're not equipped to fight criminals, and no matter how strange this is generally crimes being perpetrated.
Very well.
Creepy and odd crimes, but crimes nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. It was pointed out that 1923, the Hertz rental car company was a thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Nice.
So it would be likely that we could find a car for rent.
Very good.
Thanks,
There you
Jeff.
go.
Thanks, Jeff.
I love our chat.
Yes. So we're gonna call Agent Hoover and give him the update on the bee
Okay.
farm.
He does inform you that he hasn't gotten a report yet from local law enforcement.
All right.
But that usually takes some time.
But also tell them that we went to go to the university.
Channels and all.
We went to go to the university and confirm that these are African bees, and
Yeah.
that was confirmed.
Okay, right. And he asked for the name of the person that you talked to there, so he
Yeah,
can
be
follow
careful
up.
with him; he's a liar, or at least a thief.
A thief for science, though, so he wasn't that bad.
Okay.
He just
Or at
wanted
least
a
personal glory.
He wanted a sample of the bees. But we are going to head out to the bee farm where they were from. So, would you like to provide us with an escort or come with us?
No. But I would not suggest you go there. I would suggest you let the investigation take its course now.
Oh, but what would happen if it were merely a childish prank? We wouldn't want to waste all your officers' time.
Well, that's why we're here.
Well, plus African bees can't wait that long. They're a dangerous species that can't be just left for someone to continue raising.
Well, but if these people are dangerous, we don't want any of you hurt. So I would prefer if you not investigate this now that you've come to us, and let us investigate.
All right.
It's a D2. It's basically
It's
a coin.
Yeah,
So-
I have one from this set as well. It's really cool.
So we are, well, I mean, I think it's important that we, I mean, if you'd like to provide us with an escort, or if you'd like to go post haste, but it's something that should not wait.
Well, this has been going on for months.
The African bees in New York?
No, you're talking about the whole thing from the yellow fever outbreak here.
Right, but the African bees themselves are an imminent threat and a danger. If they are to, can you imagine what would happen if they were to escape and start naturalizing into the North American species?
That sounds like the problem of another department of the United States federal government.
Probably Department of Agriculture.
Indeed.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
And while you sort out all this paperwork, in the meantime, how many people are going to die?
But he's like,
I just made pretty things.
Agent, we just want to go over there and try to suss some things out. We actually have been authorized by the university, who was tapped by the Department of Agriculture to investigate upon these matters. And since we are on that task, I feel it incumbent upon myself to continue. If there is any sign of any trouble or anything, we will immediately leave and contact you.
very well.
And on the bright side, if we turn up dead, you'll know where to find us.
It hardly seems like a right thing to me. I would prefer not to end up dead.
That was sarcasm, huh? Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We travel for science.
The sarcasm in this game is creepy. We end up dead or insane.
Having had a literal brush with death already.
Quite literal, yes. All right. So yeah, man, let's go to this place. Isadore really doesn't want to do this. I'm gonna do it. This is stupid. Look at all the fakakta crap going on over here.
All right.
I mean, it's either that or legitimately interfere with the FBI investigation by going to see Samuel Campbell.
Yeah.
Right. Or option C, we get the hell away from New York City by getting on a boat bound for London
Why, though?
to investigate this madman and Bath and the whole connection to England.
I feel like we need more information before embarking upon such a long and arduous journey. Mm-hmm. We need to exhaust our resources here prior to any further kind of
Certainly, but
undertaking. And
it's
not
all
to mention the responsibilities that we have already abdicated at the university itself.
My desk must be full of mail and papers to be read. This is...
Don't you have teaching assistants doing your paper grading while we're away? I mean,
no disparity on your methodology as an educator, but I tend to be very hands-on.
oh. Well, I suppose that's true. You don't have to spend time with patients also.
Indeed. Your job is twofold, and not only that, but you must have some patients that you've been treating for quite some time now that probably miss your presence and the benefit of your expertise. We do have lives outside of this. This is not something that I'm accustomed to, nor do I wish to become accustomed to. Let's try to get as much information as we can, deliver it to the FBI, and hopefully all of this will sort itself out. I am eager to return to my boring life.
So perhaps we should ignore the bee farm for a time and follow up with the people right here in the city, and perhaps Mr. Hoover and his compatriots will get to the bee farm in the meantime?
I feel like the bee farm is our what do they call it in the novels? Hottest lead.
Indeed. But nonetheless, from the conversation that we had with the agent, I didn't get any sense of urgency from this lead, at least
Really?
from him. And that causes me concern. Perhaps if we find something that is more directly linked or more alarming or more actionable legally, when we go there, we could perhaps speed things along and then be on our merry way, confident that things will be resolved. At least, I just like to leave this at least to the point where I believe that the powers that be have all the information they need to find some form of resolution, and not just swim around in their own confusion.
True. And if this connection with our serial killer case does continue, with the Springfield slasher does continue, then that might be of great interest to the university.
Well, if at some point we ever catch one of these instigators alive, perhaps we'll be able to ascertain if they know of a connection or are inspired
Or maybe in
by
their
a
writings
similar
or
person,
journals, long after they have departed the premises.
Well, I'm all up for an adventure. I'm happy to visit this farm if you're all A-okay with it.
Let's do that.
To be fair, the farm is back on the way to the university,
To be fair.
so we can make a stop there on the way. It's convenient.
Perfect.
I can leave my car here to be detailed and have it shipped north.
All right.
I appreciate your thoughtfulness, Dr. Freedman.
Won't be as quick.
I'm sure, but it also won't be as infested with bees. Or as conspicuous
Easily.
to our ill-wishers.
Yes.
I like the term antagonist. For that makes me a protagonist, which
Well,
serves
are we
my
not
ego.
are we not all the heroes of our own story?
Indeed we are. That is historically fact.
I'm all right with being a hero of some other people's stories, too.
You're a hero of mine, my dear.
Oh. All right, well, as they do say then, tally-ho, etc.
All right. So you get the rental car and off you go. It is nightfall by the time you get to.
Of course it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is 3 p.m.
Right.
Yeah.
And a thunderstorm, sort of like a spring shower, comes in. The big black boiling clouds come overhead out of nowhere.
Oh, come on.
It happens well, at least in the Midwest. I assume that still happens in New York, doesn't it? I would imagine it does. Because those clouds got to go somewhere.
It's your
never
story.
lived
in New York.
Literally anything
It's
you want
raining.
It to be.
It's not really raining, but it's more like thunder and lightning. But there's a
It's
little.
very, very
Is
frightening.
it dark and spooky night?
Not really. Boom! No, I'm not trying to set a mood or anything.
All right.
And as you approach the town, and it's a small town, it's basically it has like cross streets, and there's 5 or 6 businesses there, and there's a power outage. I mean, the street lights are out. There's no lights in anyone's windows. You can see a little candlelight here and there as you're sort of driving by, and the bee farm is kind of on the opposite, on the outskirts of the town, adjacent to groves of trees and some farmlands, and it is a dark night. As you approach the place, lightning goes off. You can see the sign. Oh, you're going to miss it. That kind of thing. Okay. And you can see that there's basically the plot of land it's on. There's a sort of split rail fence, and then there's basically a line of beehives that butt up against apple trees or whatever, and then there's another line over here that goes up against some kind of field of some kind of plants, and another one over here. In the middle of it is like a large red barn that looks like it's sort of an office and other general stuff, but and there's no lights on anymore. There's wires going to the barn, so it has electricity, but there's no electricity.
There are no electric lights on. Are there any candles on?
There
Or
it's dark.
burning?
Well, no, there's a very, you can see it's from a very faint glow from inside, like candlelight or
Is that the barn?
Yeah, the barn, or like oil lamps or something like that.
On the plus side, bees generally are not active
Nocturnal.
at night.
Right.
No matter what
Yay.
continent you come from.
Well, we've come all this way.
Yeah, let's go.
It does look like someone might be still at work inside the barn.
Well, all the doors are closed. All the windows are shuttered. But
there's
you,
a light.
There, you do see a light on the inside. You don't hear like when you pull up, open the door. Through the wind, you can hear the buzzing of the bees.
All right, let's gear up.
Well, this isn't creepy at all.
Yeah, so we put on our
Okay.
insect outfits, uniform to bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely taking my guns.
Okay.
Is it okay that I have like an oil lantern?
Sure.
Okay.
We had some before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go, I have a thing. Okay. So let's walk on up.
Okay. And there's sort of like there's like an office entrance, and then there's like the big, huge barn doors kind of to the left of it.
The light seemed to be coming from the office portion or from the
Yes.
behind the big door.
Well, it's kind of you can see a little bit from the office section of it, but mostly you're seeing it sort of like from the gables of the barn. And it's not. I mean, it's not bright. It's very, very, very dim.
But like just in comparison, because if all the rest of the electricity is cut, it's so dark with the clouds rolling in.
Right. Except when there's thunder, then all of a sudden you're like blinded for 10 seconds, and then you sort of blink it away, and you can kind of see that just sort of just very light glow.
Okay.
Hold on for a second. I'm going to go around the side and see if it can see anything through those big doors before we knock on the office.
Doors don't go alone.
Well, it's probably better if I go alone because it'll be quieter.
I just worry.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see it from here, so if anything happens, you all know. So
And you are, I mean, I'm sure you're very capable.
Are you gonna like try to be quiet?
Are you going to be
Are you going to exhibit
I'm gonna-
cat-like grace?
I'm not.
Do you have that skill?
I don't have that skill.
Well, you have
Stealth.
it. You have it at least 20%.
I have it at 20.
Because I'll give you an advantage,
Okay.
a bonus die, only because
Very
there's a
thunderstorm.
storm
Dark,
going on.
And
Yeah.
it's, okay,
Yeah.
we'll do that then. Yeah,
You're in
then
good
I-
conditions to be sneaky.
Okay.
Yeah.
We say.
Oh, yeah!
Oh!
There's a 1.
A 1.
She is the sneakiest
I'm-
of
Bam!
sneakies.
Yeah, or a 2, whichever one you'd like.
Holy shit! All right. So you're quiet
No,
as hell.
technically you're supposed to, when you get advantage, you roll
I'm
the
supposed
tens.
to roll the 10s. I always
But
do
still,
that.
it would have been a 20-something.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
Even so, like, that's fucking
I
amazing.
still would have taken the good ones.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, you walk up and there's the little gap, because it's a barn.
Yeah.
And you look through and you can see like across from you, there's like some kind of table or something, and you can see a candle sitting on the table. And you're kind of looking around, and like there's like maybe a foot on the ground. Not by itself, but attached to something. You
Okay.
can kind of see like
Oh, good.
We all had the thought. Like,
Yeah, you know what? Dismemberment has been
I
a
was just
thing.
waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
and like mostly the stuff you're seeing, it looks like they keep tractors and stuff. Like this must belong to one of these adjacent farms because there's a tractor inside there. But other than that, you can't really see much else because it's very dim.
Okay.
But that obviously that it's not. I'm sorry, it's probably not a candle. It's probably a oil lamp,
Okay.
a kerosene lamp.
Is the foot, like it's a human foot, I'm assuming,
Put it up.
pointed up, like someone's lying on their back?
Yes.
Got it. Alright, I'm gonna go back around. Well, there's a light in there, and someone's lying down or something else on their back.
Was it just one person? I mean,
That I could see. There's a lot of equipment in there. There could definitely be more people, but I wasn't able to see them.
all right.
Well, I said,
And there definitely wasn't anyone else on top of said person with a foot in the ground with their back.
I blush.
not that I was able to observe.
All right.
I think-
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I think we'd be hearing other noises if it was that type of horizontal activities.
The double back.
Wishful thinking.
But I do think we should at least try to go in on the up and perhaps knock, just in case that person is asleep.
I walk up and start knocking on the door. Yeah, just like that.
No answer. Still no answer.
I knock harder and go, "Hello, is there anyone in there?" I shout because of the
Okay.
rain. I'm figuring they might have trouble
Right.
hearing me. No answer
There
at
is
that
no
point. I check the door, see if
It is unlocked.
Doctor, I believe there may be evidence that there may be someone injured inside this barn. I'm going to open the door to allow you to provide medical assistance if necessary.
We are
Open the door.
justified.
I open the door.
And thus justified.
Doris nods approvingly.
Okay. So you open the door to the office?
Yeah.
And there's an office. There's a few desks. There's like against one wall, there's a bunch of shelves, and there's like quart and pint jars of honey. Looks like they have a setup there to can it themselves. And then there's another door that obviously leads into the barn.
I'll go over to the barn
Hello?
door.
Is there anyone here? Hello?
Where in relation to where we are did Doris see the foot?
It would be through the door
Into the main.
into the main
Yeah.
room. So like as you walk into the office, it's going to be behind the wall to your left, but midway down the barn's large. It's probably like 50 feet wide by 40 feet deep. So it's about 25 feet away from where you are.
Any response to his call?
No, there is no response.
All right, let's
And I'll
move
go
into the
open
barn.
that
Yeah.
door and into the barn proper.
Okay. Who's opening the door?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm going to go right behind him. I have the lantern out just to make sure that everything's lit.
Give me sanity checks, please.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, good.
I'm going to say I'm covering our back. Like I'm
That's
watching
where you
the
get
door
wrecked
that
every
we just
time.
came-
Even though
I
you
know.
got
I have great sanity. But
I have hung back out of pure fear.
I'm good.
So I'm covering the door behind
with
Oh
a
my
us.
God,
4?
you got
I'll take that.
4.
Nice.
Whatever's happening in here is obviously just a medical emergency.
Yeah.
That poor man must have dislocated his own shoulders to lay in a position like that.
Okay. I think at this point you need to make a intelligence roll.
To understand what it is that I saved against?
Yeah, I believe so.
So you have to fail this, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
66.
oh,
I'm okay.
I thought that was an 80.
So you didn't fail it?
No, I did not.
Okay.
43.
That's
I-
a bad thing, right?
I did
though?
not fail it
Because
either.
if you don't fail it, you do understand, therefore you lose more sanity.
Roll that. Unless you have your own D3.
I don't. I'll use yours. That's fine. 2.
Okay, so you take 2 points of sanity loss.
My first.
Good job.
And
My
your
intelligence
sanity
roll is also-
continues to decline until you work on it.
3.
3.
So Dave lost 2 and Jim lost 3.
Yay! Whee!
So neither of you have lost 5 points, and neither of you have lost 1/5 of your current sanity. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Not at all.
Okay.
Unless you already have.
I was right on the borderline before.
All right.
Those 2
5 points at once or 5 points total?
5 points. I believe that's at once.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Because I've lost a total of 8 points so far.
Right.
Whoa.
Man.
I started to say when they were rolling, I'm going to be watching the door behind us, so I've got it covered with my gun
Okay.
and everything.
All right. So when you open up the door, clearly you can see there's a man lying on his back, and there's a pool of blood around where his neck is, and there are
Stones?
no, there are 4 more people in there who are also laying on their backs with their throats cut.
Are they in the pattern of a triangle?
No, they seem to be sort of haphazardly around.
Oh, good.
Well,
From the smell, does this seem like a fresh situation?
You're getting that sort of rusty smell, and it's pretty strong. You're not getting the odors of decomposition yet. No, you're just getting that sort of rust smell.
Yeah.
I will go around to the 4 and check vital signs.
There's 5 total.
5 total, I'm sorry.
5 total.
1 plus 4.
Yeah.
I am going to vomit and then turn around and tell the ladies.
Outside, man.
We're in a barn.
Yeah, but we don't want to contaminate the crime scene.
I'm not used to dead bodies like you are, good
I'm not
doctor.
either, but they're
gonna have,
obviously
walked in the door
victims
at the
of
time.
murder.
Gentlemen,
Same thing.
Okay.
Make a sanity roll.
Is it safe?
No.
There are some dead bodies in here,
I
my
would
dear.
stay
I
out
would
there.
stay out there
I'm
if
going
I
to
were you.
search the desks.
That's
That
a fine
sounds
idea.
prudent.
What's your current sanity?
Don't
my
look
current
at me.
sanity is 44.
And what did you roll?
37.
Okay, so make an int roll. If you succeed it, then you're going to roll 1d3.
So I want less than my intelligence.
You want
Yeah.
more than
More
your
than you want to fail this roll.
This
Ignorance
is
is
a roll
bliss.
you want to fail.
What dice do I not
Ignorance
like?
is bliss. In Cthulhu.
Oh, I made it.
Okay, then roll 1d3. Do you have a d3? You want to borrow mine?
I'll borrow yours. I think it's right here. 1.
Ooh.
Hey, we have the same sanity now.
Woohoo!
Welcome to the 43 Club.
Can I spot hidden on the desks? Or what would I need to do to search them?
Yeah, it's spot hidden.
Just to see?
You're like through the office.
Yeah.
Okay.
33 under my 65.
Okay. There's most of the stuff you see there is, well, I'll tell you, like the stuff that you search for is all very typical stuff that you would find in a honey farm. It's like records of bees and maintenance records and production of each hive and things like that. But very obviously on the desk there are like 3 or 4 journals and a small pile of papers that's like very obviously right in the center of a cleaned off desk.
Well, I'm going to read those.
Okay.
Because librarian.
They're regular journals, like blank journals that someone and like it's one has like a date on it and has like a name in the front of it that says one of them says the Journal of Terrence Sharp on April 14th I received a death threat from someone from Ravenhearse University.
I'm sorry, is that a sharp with an E?
Yes. From someone from Ravenhearse University who's been following me, and then there's like a couple other things that are like inconsequential, and then another page later is we've written to the Dr. Blankenship at Ravenhearse about the harassment of these people, and then in another journal someone let's see. In another journal, it says that yesterday one of the people from Ravenhearse University threatened my life if I didn't sleep with him, and gives a description that looks a little bit like him. And then there's another one that says...
being framed.
Or, you look like white man.
we're being followed by people from Ravenhearse University. I wish they would stop harassing us. It's like as you're looking through the journals. And then there's a letter on Ravenhearse University stationery, and from the office of Dr. Phineas Blankenship, MD, and it says, "You have my most sincere and humblest apologies for the behavior of the university staff in question. Once I am most soonest able, I will very harshly reprimand them for their bad behavior and misdeeds. Such behavior is not only against every ethical and moral code of Ravenhearse, but it defies the bounds of common human decency. Sincerely, Dr. Phineas Blankenship, MD." And that basically it's a bunch of stuff that looks like it's about you guys harassing someone.
Well, I'm
bee
definitely
farm.
going to gather all that up
Okay.
and tuck it into my satchel.
Okay.
If I really feel like it's like pointing towards us.
Oh, it seems. I mean, some of them have physical descriptions, and they're physical descriptions that seem
Very close
very
to
familiar.
ours.
Yes.
Well, at the very least.
Well, in the barn.
No, there is no very least. Everything about this is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, one of the names, in case you didn't pick that one out, was Drake Lambert.
Okay, so the journals were Terrence Sharp, Drake Lambert.
And we'll say Samuel Campbell.
Drake Lambert, Samuel. Oh. Oh. So, all of these are members of the Seven. Every single one of them.
Care to make that intelligence roll to make the connection?
Well, I mean, we're just yes, but like we were just talking about these names.
Right. That's not what I mean.
There's more information that may be available. Roll them bones.
Well, I rolled a 13.
Okay.
Under my
Connection
Definitely
made.
higher than 13, whatever it is.
yeah, under my 65.
So
As hard as this could be, I've done it.
at this point, you're like, so these bodies must be these people.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you know that there are bodies yet.
Well, you
No,
did.
someone
He
told us
said,
that they're bodies.
And I said,
Dr.
"Don't come in
Freedman,
here."
don't
Yeah.
come in here, there are bodies. And I was like, cool, I'll search the desks. So, gentlemen and lady, I believe these are more of our group of people that we were attempting to trace.
Indeed, and I think we should get out of here right now.
Agreed.
Yes.
Have I finished checking for vitals?
You're on like the third one.
Okay, I'll finish.
Okay, all right. Where are you?
I am going to leave the building
Okay.
and basically sort of like wait outside in some cover
Well,
for
if
the
he-
rest of the group to come out.
Yeah.
So you're like behind the car, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
When he starts to leave, I'm going to say, you need to get, we need to get in the car. We need to get in the car
That's
right
right.
now.
I'm heading toward the car right now. I'm just waiting
So
for
we
you guys
don't
to
want
finish.
anyone to see us here. We got to go.
Yeah, I agree.
I need to finish.
No,
checking
they're all
these
dead.
people.
Look at them.
There are many
Where-
cases.
where are you?
One of them might
I
be still
stepped
alive.
right in the door
Okay.
from the office, and I didn't go any farther.
Okay.
We need to not be all over this place. We need our shoe prints not to be here. We need all these things not to be
Well,
here.
it's far too late for shoe prints.
Well, now we better fix it. We got to go. And they're dead.
We're being framed.
what do you mean we're being framed?
I mean that there are journals describing us persecuting members of this group that we have just informed
And Agent Hoover that we're coming
about.
here.
And I feel like
Let's not talk about this. Let's go.
Well, is the plan that we're going to take this evidence with us? To
Yes.
hide this fact?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, obviously that's.
Well, we're not going to talk
appropriate.
about it right now. We're taking it with us, and we can turn it in later if we decide that's what we're going to do, but we're getting out of here right now.
I agree.
Now.
Let's go.
I'll walk over to the last body and reach down and check.
Okay, all right.
Staring at you.
I'm going to grab, there's like a rake or a broom or something, and I'm going to stand there right now and wait, and then as soon as he leaves, I'm going to, rake up as best we can.
Okay, so you
kind
kind of go around.
Broom out the footprints.
You've
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, I'll go out after
Okay.
I check the last body.
So you're like raking, and then you turn around to leave. One of the bodies is sitting up.
Okay.
Make another fright check.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, good.
boy, am I...
24.
You
You're
made it?
so good at this. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Your
take it.
sanity, right?
Oh, yeah.
One more D3.
But, see, I don't want to make it, though. I want to... Wait, don't I have to roll... Oh,
No, this is
Straight, okay.
this is
3.
Okay. Would there perhaps be some sort of
I feel like she'd freak her shit out, but like do the fight or flight thing where she like throws the rake or broom or whatever at
Okay.
the thing and just like probably yells or screams. I don't know if there's a prescribed thing that has to happen, but she definitely does that too. On top of that.
So you're going to throw the rake at the...
Yeah, I feel like anything she would have. She had $1 million. She'd just throw the thing at whatever it is, and
Just
like
what's in hand.
yeah, anything to and like
There was a throwing skill. You may roll that throwing skill.
I don't think she's aiming. I don't think she's trying to like defend herself. I think it's literally like terrified. Like and like
Okay.
pointing.
Well, you might hit
I
it.
might. Okay, that's fine, but. It's not. I just want it, like people who are picturing the scene. It's not like this amazing, like javelin, like
This is not Wonder
Amazonian.
Woman.
Yeah. It's like what the fuck. Yeah. So if she,
Got it.
It's a little more cabin in the woods and a little less like Diana.
exactly. Yeah, 43. She does not make it.
Okay. All right. So you throw the rack, and the head turns and looks at you.
I like threw it and like
And you're
scream
running?
and
Okay.
running, sobbing probably.
Okay.
Like
So everyone else is already outside. Okay.
Get the fuck out of Dodge.
All right.
Well, I'd probably turn back around and be like, what?
yeah, and like I just like blast by you, like sobbing and screaming.
Like, do you...
I don't think I'm that.
It's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Not long after she runs out, in the doorway, you see one of the people you checked their vitals on to make sure they were dead. Then
I'm going to assume that I was rushed. Because for sure, like, I told you this poor person needs help. I'll start walking back over. Like, is it a man, a woman?
It's one of the guys.
Okay. Sir, sit.
Dr. Freedman, don't do this.
I'm gone. I'm out by the car.
Yeah, I'm out by the car, man. I
Person
can't even
needs
help.
help. Look, they were bleeding out on the ground.
And it's cut, and there's still a little bit of ooze coming down.
Their
on his shirt.
throat has been slashed.
Well, there are many cases where people have had
Are
injuries
the
to
keys
the
in the
neck.
car?
Are the keys? Were you driving? I'm
Probably
assuming?
not.
Okay.
I mean, probably the keys are not in the car.
Okay.
Especially after the recent vandalism
Okay.
of car situation.
Dr. Friedman, please.
I'm honking on the horn.
He's reaching out toward you.
I hate to bring this
Sit,
out,
sit,
but
sir, sit.
is she watching this?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. At this point, you definitely need to make a sanity check.
Oh, yeah.
In fact,
Negative?
anyone who has not seen them walking
It's
around.
an 18.
Okay,
I
so
am
you-
literally hidden by the car. I am
Okay.
not observing any of this.
Okay.
I mean, I am going to assume that, like, I'm going to assume that this person might be alive, but still means us harm. Because if he is one of the group, then there's no reason why he would not mean us anything but harm.
Okay. We'll go ahead and roll a d3 because that's the low one for this, for the sanity.
1.
Okay.
Bastards.
Is the low.
As I get closer, I'll make the sanity check.
Okay. All right.
$66.
No.
Oh, you failed it?
Oh, the D-Sace.
3.
Okay.
So he doesn't have to make the
Intelligence?
intelligence
That
roll?
at this point, no. At this point, no. I gotta double check that rule exactly how it works. I don't remember exactly how it works.
I guess I'm just confused about when you make the intelligence roll and when you don't.
So am I, because I'm trying to remember, because I thought I wrote it down in my notes.
This
and
is
I
the
don't.
way I understand it works. You make a sanity check. If you make the sanity check and retain your sanity, you make an intelligence roll afterwards.
Right.
If you make the intelligence roll, you've actually managed to understand
The significance
of
of
what
what
you've
you've
seen.
seen. Right.
If you fail that roll, then you are blissfully ignorant.
Well,
Right.
you rationalize it away.
You
Right.
rationalize it away, yes.
Like we do every day at the horrors of our universe.
Word. The horrors of the understanding of our own insignificance.
Right.
So I think I'd probably get close enough to the person that I'm like, no, clearly, like, that's their carotid artery.
Oh, yeah,
It's
the-
like hanging out.
Eyes are glazed over.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. A deathly pallor.
And then that's beyond medical science.
Yes.
So I am out.
Okay.
That might.
Like, I will.
Because Jason had to do the same thing last time.
I'll like flip around
I'm wondering if they got mixed
and
up.
start to run out. Are you still in the room?
Definitely connected.
Okay.
Not after this.
Okay.
I would say that
So you
I would
started
say-
running before I
I
did?
would say, like, Doctor, please come with us. This person does not mean us any... This person obviously means us harm one way or another. Come with us, let us leave this place.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tarry any further. I'm a coward.
No, that's fine. I was just making sure you were out of the room before I ran out of the room.
Okay.
So then I will run out of the room.
Right. Well, this is like the doorway to out of the office, out to where you parked.
Yeah, I'll slam the door as I get out.
Okay. All right. Well, he's stepped out.
Oh, he's out of the building.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm
He's
sorry. I thought
following
he came
you.
through the door into the office.
No, he
area.
came out. She came
Very good.
running out of the office, and then right after her, you see him shambling out.
So I thought that was the barn proper.
Is your mic on?
Oh, sorry.
I thought that was the barn proper.
Well, she ran out of the barn, out of
Proper.
the office.
Yeah, out of the barn proper, into the office, screaming,
Right.
out into the car.
Because you guys never opened the big barn doors.
Yes, but
So
like the barn proper is where all the bodies were.
Yes, correct.
And so this corpse came out of the barn proper into the office.
Yes.
And now through the
And
office.
now
and
out of
And
the
that's where we
office
had our little
toward your
interaction.
car.
Ran
Yes,
out, and now it's out.
And now it's coming out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Faster than we could bar the door behind you.
Yes. Probably because I walked up to him like a moron.
So this is more, like 30 days later or 28 days later than
No.
Romero.
Yeah.
Right.
And the horn in the car is like honking. Like,
It's not running. It's like walking, but it's not like
It's not plodding
No.
or shambling.
No.
shambling.
It is walking like a legitimate human being walks.
yes.
That's worse. That's worse.
I'll try and get some distance
Okay.
and then whip around and shoot that fool.
Okay. All right.
Because, no.
All right.
I disagree with the premise of this man, and I will take offensive action.
You may do that.
I might do that, one would say.
I'm just looking to see. No, yeah, just go ahead and make your regular roll.
Okay.
Get Bukaru.
No. Missed.
You missed. Okay.
But by
All right.
17, so I didn't miss like I shot the car.
No.
Or one of us.
You
Yeah.
probably shot the barn.
Right. Fair
Okay.
enough.
You can have
Is your mic muted?
No, Kimi had me switch mics to the.
So he's on the 6 now.
Oh, he's on 6?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not. Yeah, keep it.
Actually, I'm not because this is connected to nothing.
Oh,
Well, yes, it is muted then in way.
Try plugging it into into that one. Yeah, into yours.
Push the.
There.
You're muted.
so I'm going to have.
Now I'm not muted anymore.
Well, you're
And-
muted here.
well-
Go ahead and get it plugged in.
It's plugged in.
It's plugged in.
try to cover for it, guys. Come on.
All right.
Hello, hello.
I'm gonna take like,
Look at that.
All right.
like I'm gonna grab the tire iron from the back of the car and like
Okay.
throw it at the body.
Okay.
So throw, which I have no skill in, so have no expectation of actually making this.
Right.
Oh god. Luckily I have all the dice.
She threw and managed to hit the ground. With her dice.
Because we're all excited. Yep, no one is. It's a 67
Okay.
over my nothing. So throw
Well,
is a
throwing is
base
like
of like
20 or
20.
something. Yeah. Okay. So it's on you now.
It's a panic throw.
And here's how fighting works.
I was hoping I'd never find out.
He's going to basically try to punch you,
Okay.
and you have a choice of things that you can do if you do not want to get hit. You can do what's called fight back, which means basically you're in fisticuffs, and there's a chance that you will hit him and he won't hit you on his turn. And then there's also dodging, and that is a skill.
Okay. So what would be the case if I choose to fight back?
If you fight back, we're both going to roll fighting skill, and we're going to compare our degree of success.
I am slightly more likely to dodge. I will do that.
Okay, so let me roll his attack first.
Okay.
And that is a failure,
Okay.
so you don't need to do anything.
All
So he
right.
basically takes a swing and he misses.
I'm gonna say that Doris kind of like gathered herself. Do we have to roll initiative or anything? Or?
That's what I was just about
Okay.
to say. Let's go ahead and do that now. I should have done that at the beginning, but I figured you guys get in the car.
Well, we're we're kind of spread out too,
Right.
so it makes sense that he would act first.
But how does
I'm
initiative
trying,
work?
except this guy's got the keys.
Who's? I just need everyone's dex.
Oh, okay.
60.
75?
Holy crap.
Dex.
Shit
Typing.
happens.
An ex-gymnast from
55.
Librarian.
What's yours? Hiding person.
70. I am spry.
You are.
How do I have the highest dex out of all this group?
Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to start at the top, which would be Isadore. No. It's be you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, no way.
Okay, well, at this point, having panic thrown the crowbar,
And he just took a swing at
and he just took
Dr.
a swing
Freedman.
at Dr. Freedman, and I'm going to grab Isadore's lantern.
Okay.
Okay.
And
If you throw it, don't miss.
I'm definitely going to miss if I try to throw it.
Okay.
So I'm not
If
going
that
to
was
try
your
to
plan,
throw
I'm like,
it.
please.
No.
Because they're standing toe to toe.
But you know what I am going to do is throw it at the barn.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
So, like, because where there's one fucking zombie corpse,
There may be others.
there may be others. Also, it'll destroy any evidence of our presence here. Or something.
Okay.
Clearly, it was a lightning strike in this thunderstorm.
Exactly. I'm going to throw the lantern at the barn.
Okay.
Hopefully I can hit the
Are you gonna
outside
try
of
to-
a barn.
Are you going to try to hit the barn? Or are you going to try to make it in the office door, or
No, I'm just going to try to hit the barn. I'm
Okay.
throwing it at the building. I have
you
no...
don't need to make that roll?
Oh, thank God.
All right.
I was going to say, you should at least give her advantage. She's literally
Is your
trying
mic-
to hit the broadside of a
Mike
barn.
muted again.
Literally trying to hit the broadside of a barn. Okay. Just trying to switch these mics over properly.
There you go.
Okay.
Is it muted still?
No, it's on. It's plugged in.
6.
Talk again.
Keep talking, Jim.
There's nothing.
Talking.
Keep talking.
Talking some more.
Yeah, I'm not getting
Nothing.
anything.
Really
Nothing.
boorish. Okay.
Just switch it to the other one. The other one, I got
Yeah, I'll
something out
copy
of it.
that.
All right.
Sorry. All right. So you hit it. The kerosene splashes, ignites, and you see it. It's starting to burn.
Yay!
And it's not real like pouring rain. It's like barely raining at all. It's just thunder. So you don't have to worry about that putting it out. And that would bring it to Dr. Isadore Holzman.
I am in light. There we go.
Oh, my ears.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
There we go. Can you hear me
Turn this
now?
one on.
Turn that one on?
7,
Seven.
yes.
Oh, is it plugged?
Yeah.
You plugged in that one? Go ahead.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
There we go.
All right.
A little bit of something there.
Man. Your system does not like listening to my dulcet tones. Okay. Now I see the zombie.
Go ahead and make that roll. It's actually better than that.
Better than a zombie?
There, you see two more coming out of the office door.
I fail.
Wait, I'm
Idiot.
sorry. There are 2 more coming out of the burning building?
Yes.
God damn it, but we blocked the door.
No, we didn't.
No,
we
you
didn't.
weren't able to.
were going
too
to, but then
panicked.
he was too faster.
Yeah.
He was too fast. Not
So
too
I
fast.
failed my
Okay,
sanity.
so roll it. It's a d6.
Lovely. 2.
For those of us that succeeded the int roll on those earlier checks, we should get a temporary insanity.
Oh, okay, all right.
Wait, so if you succeed your sanity check...
Not your sanity check, the intelligence check
I know,
after the
but,
insanity
like,
check.
If you
So
succeed
if
the
you
sanity
succeed
check,
the sanity check and then you fail your int roll, like fail as in you succeed your int roll, you roll lower than your int, you get a temporary insanity.
Yes.
Yes. That's because you understand the significance of what you're seeing, whereas if you failed it, you've rationalized it away as, oh, it must be that that weird corpse thing where they sometimes twitch hours after death or something like that.
And
That man was
stand out.
obviously not almost dead. He was still alive, but meant us harm. That kind of thing.
So
I'm
now
just
that
saying
I've,
I'm a master of headcanon.
that I've failed the sanity check, do I just lose my shit and don't get to act, or
You
I'm sorry. My bad. That's only if we did the 5 sanity loss.
okay?
So if somebody gets a bad sanity loss, then
Right.
So it's only when you get like a 5+ sanity loss that you do the imp roll.
no? Did you get the temporary drain?
that you get the temporary insanity.
Okay.
I apologize to everyone.
So
I should reread the rules.
You lose self-control for a moment, scream, involuntary action, freeze, etc.
Okay. So yeah, I'm basically paralyzed in fear.
Okay, all right.
I'm so not used to playing a non-combat character in the game. It's so alien to me.
Doris.
I think she's gonna go back to what she knows. She's gonna pull out her rifle,
Okay.
her level revolver. And that one has regular bullets, right? It's not like a scatter shot.
What kind of rifle?
30 Colt level revolver. It's like
Oh no, that's
That's a pistol.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's the one that.
Oh, that's a
That's a shotgun that you're just
Yeah.
No, that's a
No.
But that's
or
not
lever
what
action.
Yeah, lever action one.
Well, they made. Is it? It's a lever action rifle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and.
But that's not like scatter shot, right?
no.
Okay.
No, it fires a bullet.
Okay. So I am doing that, and I'm shooting these dead motherfuckers.
Okay.
Specifically the ones who's after you right now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, do good.
If you shoot me, the keys are in my right pocket.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're something I forgot. If you are using a firearm, you add 50 to your dex. I didn't know you were going to grab a gun.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, you.
Oh, got it. So in the order.
Yes, because
Okay.
it's much easier to shoot someone than it is to swing at something.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's faster to shoot someone than grab a lamp, throw it at a barn.
Right.
Yes. 73. 65 is my skill.
So you just missed.
I missed. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take a miss.
Okay.
Take a miss.
As long as it's not a
close.
critical
It's a
miss.
closeness.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is it good enough of a miss to hit one of the other two?
I'm not
No.
planning to use my firearm this round, so
Okay.
I would go next anyway.
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm going to try and get away from this guy
All right.
and get back to the group with the car.
Okay. That's easy.
Okay.
You just do that. And you do notice as you're turn around to run away, there are 2 more of them coming out of the
Yeah,
vault.
well, I'm not willing to face that danger.
Okay.
It's time to go.
So it starts chasing after you, and you can hear shuffling from the other 2 as well.
All right,
So it's
well,
on your tail, and you see you're going to go next since you're holding a rifle.
Okay.
He basically runs towards the driver's door, and the thing is moving after him. It's not moving as fast. It's walking,
Okay.
basically. And
Okay.
the other 2 are now coming out, and then you can see more figures moving in the sort of shadow behind.
Okay. Do we count shouting as actions?
Not really.
Okay, I'm going to shout for you, Camilla, to get back to the car, and then I'm going to keep shooting him. God, I am I'm
Oh, what did you roll?
96.
Okay, that's bad.
I have a really good rifle
You
skill.
do.
What's your
You do.
skill?
65.
Banish those dice.
Yeah. Go away.
Oh, what is the malfunction on that weapon?
Oh, God.
Because you know what? They have a malfunction number.
They
let
do.
Let me look that up real quick.
Oh, good.
You didn't write it down, did you?
No.
It either blows up in your hand or it shoots me.
They may just
are you
jam.
using a pump revolver?
Yeah.
No, you're
Like
using
a lever.
It's a lever
A
action
lever
rifle.
Okay, well then it could be a jam, or it could
That's-
be a kickback, or it could be a cartridge that explodes in the barrel.
So,
Let's not help.
30 caliber lever action carbine. Is that what you have?
Yes.
Oh, malfunction is at 98.
Ah!
All right.
So my doomsday predictions are not.
How much
Not
damage
applicable.
do I or the car take?
No.
Oh, at a 96?
No.
98 is the malfunction.
Yeah.
But that's a
But it's not
malfunction.
a
but-
critical.
I don't think
It's
96
not,
is-
it's
I
not
don't
critical
think,
until
not
you
when
get
your
to
skill
90.
levels. Oh, I think your skill level is over 50. I think that critical failure is like very high.
Oh, I thought it was over 95.
No, it depends on your skill level.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
particularly unskilled, it starts at 95, I believe, and then, or is it? But yeah,
I thought it
that's,
started at 90. I really need to reread all this. Sorry.
yeah, same here.
You don't need to apologize for not knowing the same thing we don't know.
No, it's just that I have 3 editions of this book, and I just haven't gotten
There's
around
a-
to buying the
yeah.
7th one, the 7th edition one yet.
Surprisingly, I've never actually played this game more than one shot.
as anyone else.
We did a Call of Cthulhu ages ago, but like literally ages ago, before we started streaming from the garage, and we were still streaming from the house. Not, we weren't even streaming; we were just recording. It
Wow.
was a very long time ago.
The callbacks.
I don't know if we ever actually put it out. I think it was one of our first tries at recording.
Was I in it?
What's your skill
Will
level?
was in it. 65.
Okay, if your skill level is 50 or over, you have to roll 100 to get a failure.
Ah!
Otherwise, it's 96 or higher.
Whoa.
See?
So you just barely made it.
Barely.
So it's like,
Yeah.
Alright, sweet.
So no malfunction, no critical failure.
Yeah.
So like no friendly fire.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We've downgraded this to just simple failure.
right. Okay, that was Doris, and then it goes back to Camilla.
Just a
How-
I'm gonna take
Like,
Doris's
how
advice.
truly
Okay.
viscerally terrifying is this game that we're totally happy
We're
with a
stoked
complete miss?
with just a straight up miss.
We're like a complete miss, and all of us are like, oh, thank heaven.
Fist pump.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna hop in the car
All right.
Okay.
and I'm going to. Does that take my whole turn?
Uh-huh.
Does that take my whole turn?
Pretty much.
Cool. Can I look around to see if there's anything else I could use as a weapon?
In the car?
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Any
rental.
other tools? Anything else? Like anything?
Well, we packed up all our stuff
Right. Make
because
a,
we were going back to
make a
the
luck roll.
university.
Because that's worked out so well for me in the past.
We have the little fire.
Honestly, you've been rolling pretty darn well.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally have. This, on the other hand,
Oh.
is an 84 over my 26.
Anything
There's
useful is
jack and
parked all
shite.
the way at the bottom of the bag.
I mean, there's some books you might be able to light on fire and throw at them, but other than that, no.
I would never. Also, I'm just locking the fucking doors.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Doors or your door?
All the doors.
Well, the rest of us aren't in yet.
Oh, I'm the only one in?
Well, no, I think
Never mind,
I
my
think-
door.
I think the car's is. I had assumed. I'm sorry that we were still in an open. I assumed you'd rented a car like your kind of like similar to your car.
Is it a
I
convertible?
figured it was a Ford.
A
like
Ford.
Model
Okay.
T.
Like Model T?
Yeah, it's probably going to be an inexpensive, common.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are the doors unlocked then?
You probably left
Yeah.
them unlocked.
Okay.
Because who's going to steal it in the middle of the night in a thunderstorm at a beehive?
Without keys.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I didn't leave the keys inside because that would be too easy for
Yeah.
them to take.
Okay.
Okay, so
So you're in
I'm in, I'm locking my door.
got it.
I'm going to, if I have enough time, will kick open the door closest to my compatriots
Okay.
and just scream, "Please get in for the love of
Okay.
God."
So basically, you're going to kick open like the driver's side,
Yes.
the driver's side front door. Okay.
My car had one. Damn it.
Mr. Holzman, or Dr. Holzman.
Where's your
It is
store
yours.
collector?
Thank you.
Are you still frozen, or are you?
What do the rules say? Can I actually?
It's just it's a momentary
Momentarily.
thing. Yeah.
Shit. I'm gonna go for the ankles of the guy that's fighting.
Okay. All right. With what?
Basically, I'm just gonna grab at his ankles, try to.
Oh.
knock him down.
Okay. All right.
Just gonna try to tackle.
Is there a grapple in this game?
Oh yeah. Every game has grapple.
Just fighting, though, I think.
Right.
It
yeah.
sounded like you said every meme has grapple.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Okay.
I want to
So
go to your corner of the internet, Stu.
Oh, there's fighting brawl.
Yeah.
that's what you're going to roll. Use your brawling skill,
Okay.
and he's not really going to take any active measures against you because he's very zombie.
They don't dodge so much.
No.
Is he a zombie or is he a ghoul? 74.
I missed.
Okay.
But do you miss in such a way that, like, he trips over?
Probably on the
You
ground.
didn't roll a 96, did you?
No.
Okay.
Just roll a 74.
Dr. Freedman, you're at the door. She just kicked the door open.
I was just reminded I will now go to the front of the car and begin cranking.
Right.
I just told him that this car doesn't have an electric starter. Doc.
Right.
I hate the 20s!
Specifically, that's why I picked the model car I picked.
It had an
Because
electric
it has
starter.
the push, it had like a, almost like the old high beam button in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
It had a foot electric start.
All right. So you're cranking. And that is the last. Okay.
Wait, what? 5 sessions in this game? That's cool.
No, now the best part,
Four sessions.
really the best part is
We survived longer than
the
I
fact
thought
that it's
I
like super tense chase scene, and we get to the car and it's oh,
Yeah, that's what. Because I came up with this like, oh no,
Oh,
no, no, no.
Very get smart about this whole thing.
No, I think it's good. I mean, I think it's
Oh,
part
yeah,
of the
no, it's
cool
awesome.
part of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's stressful.
Yeah, no, we're really afraid, so that's good.
yeah.
Working as intended.
He kind of comes up to grab you by the neck, and you kind of like shoulder your way away from, and he kind of falls, but he's right behind you,
okay.
and you're cranking.
Does it seem like the car's getting close to?
I'll have you make a
Probably
like
a mechanics repair roll. Or
something like
Yeah,
that.
but it's like a normal operations
I would give him
thing,
advantage,
so,
definitely,
like,
because he doesn't try
Yeah.
to really do anything.
Yeah.
It's just...
on the top of your turn. If you
Okay.
succeed, that you've started. Because I mean, it
Yeah,
sometimes takes a while.
it does.
Now, is that 2-man operation? Do you have to have someone inside
No.
pushing down? Okay.
I'm in there if you need someone.
We're back to Doris. Now, what's happened is he's run up to start the car. The first guy came out, and he sort of elbowed him and knocked him over, but he's behind him. And then there's 2 more about midway between the office door and the car, and 2 more now just leaving the office.
Okay, I'm gonna be frustrated, throw my revolver in the car because I keep messing with it. So it's
Rifle.
obviously the revolver's the problem. I'm gonna pull out my rifle.
Okay, I thought you were using a rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
No, I
Lever action
Lever
rifle.
action.
You were using
Or
a
using
rifle.
or a 30.
I thought it was a carbine.
Carbine is a
Carbine
rifle.
is a
It's a
rifle.
short
It's a short
rifle.
rifle.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was using before.
Okay.
Cool.
So now I'm pulling out. I'm sorry, my revolver now.
Okay, got it.
Got it. So now I'm pulling out
That's
my
the-
38 Colt.
Got it.
I just thought I heard you wrong.
Yeah, no, I said it wrong. I flipped them in my brain.
Cool.
And the skill's higher in this one, so hopefully I hit better.
Okay.
And I'm shooting the one who's closest to us.
Specifically, you threw the rifle in the car.
Yes.
Okay.
Son of a, cursed at it
Got it.
and tossed it in the car, whipped out the
Okay.
Colts.
And who are you firing at?
The monster that's closest, the dead guy.
The one that's behind him?
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
ground.
All right.
Yeah, I want him real dead.
Okay.
For reals.
You should probably get advantage because he's on the
70, I made it exactly.
ground. Never mind.
All right.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. We're not playing with that. So, yeah.
We'll go ahead and roll your damage for that.
Oh,
You don't have it written down?
But also, it's dark and
shouldn't have
poorly
said.
illuminated. There is
Yeah,
some weather
yeah.
condition. It kind of
I can look it
balances
up.
out. I think.
I was just looking at it for the Napoleonic game.
I should have written it, yeah.
Because I've got, I had to find
I meant to write it down after we
muzzle-loaded
did
rifles.
character creation because we were passed around the book and I forgot to.
This is a 38,
38 Colts.
1d10 damage. And muzzle right down the rifle.
Yeah, the 30 caliber lever.
2d6.
Okay.
And your malfunction is 100 for the revolver,
Okay.
because revolvers almost never malfunction.
Yeah, especially a Colt.
Right.
And it's 98 for the other one.
And it's 98 for the other.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot more movie bits.
Yeah. D10. I had a lot of those. 10.
Nice!
Woo!
Okay, the bullet hits him in the shoulder, and his arm literally falls off.
Okay.
Just blasts open. There's blood and there's meat flying.
Okay.
Because you hit it in the bone, it ricocheted around, and just and the arm fell off.
Nice.
And the thing is unfazed.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Yes, but it's 50% less likely to be able to grab me now.
Right. Well, 100% less likely with its right arm.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
It is 100% less likely to be able to use a garrote on you now.
Right.
So just to review, you two are in the car.
I'm not in the car.
You're not
I'm
in-
behind the car.
I am
behind
the
the car.
only
Okay.
one in the car so far.
Actually, no, I'm not even behind the car because I moved out to attack when
tried
I
to
was
tackle
attacking
it.
Dave.
So we're all right around the car, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Camilla.
I am going to get in the... Seeing him cranking, I'm assuming I've watched him do stuff. Mm-hmm. There must be some kind of, like, starting thing that I need to do on my end
Maybe.
to
Well,
complete his cranking
No,
business?
not
These things
necessarily.
were designed for one guy to be able to crank start this thing because the way it works is you're actually turning the actual pistons and they're drawing fuel and firing.
Right.
So you're basically just taking over for the engine while it starts. So there's no like button thingy or anything you have to
Oh,
do inside
never
the car.
mind then. This
But-
is not like when someone jumps your car and you have to...
But you can actually press on the gas pedal to put more fuel into the engine.
to make it
which-
go faster?
To make it put more fuel to start it up maybe faster, but you could flood it too. So there's an...
No. Okay. So, I don't know enough about cars to do this. Instead, I am going to... So we're in thing, and I've done that. There's nothing available to me to attack with.
I should have checked your medical bag and see if you had a scalpel or something in there I could use.
bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
I am going to do a more thorough search of...
Okay.
Actually, she paused her rifle in.
Yes, she did.
I'm going to reload it for her.
Okay. Will you use it?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
I wanted you to shoot me so bad. That would have been so cool.
I'm going to reload it and have it ready, and I'm going to say, Doris, the rifle is at the ready.
Nice.
Okay.
Because part of being a librarian is knowing your own limits.
Makes sense. All right.
Never held a handgun before in my life. I just read a treatise on reloading in World War I.
Dr. Holzman,
Dr. Holzman.
you're kind of on behind it because you drove for its legs.
Yeah.
You're kind of on the ground behind them. It fell. So you're kind
Did it
of.
fall down after it gets shot, or is it just sort of standing there?
It-
Well, I knocked it back.
Okay,
Yeah, it was already on the ground.
it's on the ground.
And there's an arm laying there.
Lovely.
Are you hitting yourself?
I gotta pick up its arm and beat it with it. I ain't Beowulf.
Put it in the
High
rafters
five for
of the
that call
university.
back. I like that. That was good. I liked it.
He's a professor of classics.
Yeah. It's nice.
Actually, what I'm gonna try to do is step on its neck so it doesn't get back up. I'm
Okay.
just gonna sort of stand on it, trying to use my own body weight to keep it from getting...
That would just be brawling, and because it's prone, I'm going to say that you get a bonus die for it.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's a 3.
Bam.
3.
Okay.
Holy snap.
So you're standing on its neck.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me, what's your, what is it?
I have no damage bonus, but I believe it's D3 plus damage bonus for...
Yeah.
So 2 points.
Okay. All right.
Yay! I did something! Yay!
Yay. I mean, admittedly, that's more than I could do. Besides destroy all
No,
the evidence.
it's exactly what you would have done with a 0-3. You'd have been just as successful as me.
Dr.
zero
Freedman,
damage
would you
bonus.
like to make your either mechanics or strength, either one, I think, whichever's higher, and give yourself a bonus because it's not hard.
Well, strength is way up there.
Yeah.
I'm a hobbyist. I don't actually work on the car myself. Oh, yeah. 28.
Yep.
All right.
Under 65.
Get the hell out of here.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Yeah.
And now, so you can. That was the start of your turn, so you can actually do something.
Then I will go to get in the car.
Okay. All right.
Follow my own advice.
And now we're back to Doris. The car has started.
Yeah, if he's clear and the car started, I'm running around doing the thing where you're kind of like retreating, firing,
Sure.
covering.
Oh, you can do that.
Okay.
Now, I think the rate of fire, you can actually fire 3 rounds a turn with that weapon. I
Okay.
believe.
really?
I think you can.
With
by
a
now it's
revolver?
double
If
action.
it
a
depends
double
on
action.
how many chambers the revolver has.
Usually a lot of the games for revolvers require you to cock, shoot. And that's why semi-automatics are more desirable.
No, you can fire it 3 times.
Sweet.
Now, I think there's a...
I think the rounds in this game are kind of long, too.
They are.
Made that one.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, 24.
All shots are rolled separately. All suffer a penalty die.
Can I just shoot one?
So you can rapid shoot and do penalty die, or just shoot once.
Right, so you can take that one hit.
I'll just
Basically
say
a
I did
fan
it
in the
once.
hand.
Okay.
And what are you shooting at?
The next closest one.
Okay.
No, that one's still, whatever is closest. Like, I'm really literally just trying to get the
Okay.
fuck away.
And that now you're using the revolver that was 2d6, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Again.
So you shoot it, like, right dead in the chest.
Right in the microphone.
Right in the microphone. And it's still moving.
Okay.
That's 22 points.
That's
And
20.
Well, that's
I'm in the car.
the first shot was on the one that's in the front of the car.
So I get in the car.
That's 2 different zones.
After I
Okay.
do that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were still going for the one that was right next to us.
Camilla. People are now getting in the car and the engine's running.
Fantastic.
You still have the rifle.
I'm going to toss it to
Okay.
the person who it belongs to.
Okay.
And I am going to, hell, why not? I'm going to find the nearest, like, heavy object in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And chuck it at the, Well, how long are these rounds?
They don't really say specifically.
Okay, because I carry paper with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious if I could, like, crumple up a few pages of paper and light them on fire and throw that as, like, a...
That'd probably take
2 rounds.
Yeah, that'd probably take 2 rounds to happen.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna,
Just randomly grab something and throw it. Okay. Who's got the lowest luck?
I'm actually fairly lucky. I got a 65.
I have the lowest luck.
I have 13.
Oh, never mind.
Let me see. What kind of what stuff do you have?
Doctor's bag.
I got my doctor's bag. It's in the car.
There you go.
I don't think I'm gonna take the whole bag. I would think I would take something out of the bag.
A bottle of ether and a match.
What was your luck?
What?
What was your luck?
13.
Oh, that's really low.
I would take
Yeah.
a Molotov cocktail on this.
And
on
I
this
made the
bitch.
luck roll.
Huh?
I made the luck
Did you
roll
have,
at one
like-
time.
Alcohol or something that's like...
Oh, there's tons of stuff that can burn.
I'm saying
in
there's
that
a bottle
bag.
of ether in there.
Yeah,
that thing.
ether, that's the word I was looking for.
That
yeah.
is explosively
It's
burning.
about to light on fire when you just...
So you basically,
Yeah.
the bag's open, you just grab something and throw it. Because you
Yes.
said you were just going to randomly
Yes,
grab
that
something
is what
heavy
I'm going
and
to
throw it.
do.
Okay, all right. So that's what
I'm assuming it's a bottle of something because that would be the heaviest thing you have in there.
Go ahead and make your throwing roll.
Do it. You're gonna rock this.
Oh, the
Not
crit
if I
failure.
do 2
The crit
tens.
failure of the bottle of ether impacting on the roof of the car inside,
Yeah, I know.
and we're all just like...
I'm just saying it's gonna be 100 and we're all gonna die. It's gonna be great.
And
It's
ether-
going to be a
wrecked it.
22.
Nice, you make it. You got
Wow.
a 25 base, I think.
20
20?
base.
20 base?
It's a 20 base.
Oh, bummer.
That's so sad.
You can use 2 points of luck to make it work.
I'm so tempted. In fact, I think I will because,
Okay.
like, fuck it.
Did
This
the
would just
barn
be so
catch
much
on
fun.
fire?
It's
Burning.
it's in not fully involved yet, but it's in the process. Because I mean, the amount of time that's passed is
Yeah.
No.
Right,
a
right.
couple
I'm
minutes,
using
probably.
2 points of luck because the fact that I got this
Right.
close just makes me happy
All right, so it's
to make this throw.
it's not the one at the front of the car because you can't really reach that one, but it's the closest one that's coming at you from the barn. So you hit it, and whatever you threw at it, hit it, and the bottle broke, and there's now liquid all over the front of the guy coming towards you. Whatever it was.
Awesome.
I'm sure everything you own is highly flammable.
I didn't see. I'm in the process of, like, closing the door and
Right.
getting the car in gear.
And that takes us to Dr. Holzman.
I
You got
wanna-
your foot on its neck.
Professor,
it's
get
like-
in the car!
Okay.
It's like trying to grab.
It's a torch
I
don't
take
be.
my Zippo lighter. I remove the top. I empty the contents while it's still lit and throw it on him and run for the car.
Okay. Now that's not the one that.
The one that I'm
She's
supposed to.
looking-
No, I know,
okay,
but
all right.
that's I'm just
Okay.
trying to distract this guy so I can get the hell out of Dodge.
Got it. Okay. All right. And Dr. Freedman, you're in the car.
Well, everybody's not in the car yet,
No.
so I'm not going to leave.
Okay.
You're so nice.
I really
And-
want to leave.
Yeah.
And if I'd lost 2 more points of sanity, I would leave.
Yeah.
I'm about to get in the car, so
It gets up and is coming after you.
okay.
On fire.
Well, here's the question. Did he get around the front of the car?
He's around. I'm assuming you're going in the passenger side.
Yeah.
On either the front or the back.
But he's
Doesn't
no longer directly in front of the car where this burning zombie is.
No.
right.
Well, then I will, on my turn,
Oh, okay. All right.
attempt to hit it.
Okay. So that will say you saved your turn, and you're going to do that now. So
Yeah,
he's clear. The
Well, I
The
went
zombie
after
is
him
not
anyway,
clear.
so
Okay.
as long as...
Well, I'm still shooting, so I should be. Right? Are there still windows in these cars? Right?
Yeah, you can
Oh,
fire.
and the end of the
absolutely.
round.
Oh,
Yeah, we're at
I'm
the end of
sorry.
the
I thought
round,
we were
yeah.
back at the top again. I'm sorry.
yeah, he's last.
Okay.
But, well, except for the zombies.
Yeah.
So I'll attempt to hit it with the car.
Sure. Go ahead and make your driving roll. Give yourself advantage because it's literally directly in front of the car.
Woohoo! What do I do with my other... I got it.
60, 80. Oh, that's 50. Oh.
53. Yeah.
Yeah, no. This driving under pressure... I told you I'm a hobbyist.
All right, so you like...
Damn it, Jim! I'm a hobbyist.
It basically just steps out of the way. It's like it just happens to walk by, not oblivious, because it's...
I neglected to recenter the wheel after we pulled in.
Oh.
So then
Oh,
the
so
car
it's
leaped
like-
forward as I'm thrown
It
into
leaps
gear
forward
rapidly.
to,
So he's like,
to an,
you want
at an
to round?
angle.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is that physically possible? Holtzman is thinking to himself. Holy fuck.
The zombie, it's like Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta. And
Oh yeah.
So now he's going to he's going to try to grab onto you with his one good arm.
No. Miss
Oh, and I
me.
can roll the 6.
Oh, you suck.
So he grabs you, and what's it, a D3 is the regular sort of like...
Yeah, the D3 is the hand-to-hand damage.
Okay.
Unarmed. Yes.
Ooh, 3.
Great.
What's your total hit points?
12.
Let me check something real quick.
Sure. Is 3 or more a major wound?
No, it has to be, if it's equal to half,
So it'd be a 6.
it's just regular damage.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then the one in the front one that has the liquid all over its front is going to try to reach through and try to grab you. And I rolled a 17. Well, you can fight back
Dodge!
or dodge.
I assume I have a disadvantage trying to dodge.
Dodging is going to be tough, but you can fight back.
Yeah, I'll try and do that.
Never mind, I was wrong.
Well, I mean, I could try and dodge, but then I'd be like abandoning the controls of the vehicle.
I'm just saying, it might be an improvement.
Beating the face with a
13.
meaty fist. That's
Damn.
right.
Yeah.
What's your skill level in brawling?
25. And I got a 13, so I beat it by 12.
So what's your 1/2 and 1/5 numbers? Which one did it go to?
I got the one half.
You're below half.
Yeah.
I think
I'm on 1/2.
I think he's the same.
The question is if he's drenched in something that's going to knock me out.
We're flammable, just set him on fire.
I don't have anything to set him on fire. I'm not a smoker.
See? Smoking saves lives, Doc.
In this time period, they thought.
Thanks, Woody Allen.
Okay, so you were fighting back, correct?
Yes. Just
Right.
That right there is this whole fight.
Pretty much.
It's a bunch of people that are not good at fighting. They're like,
And Kimi.
and then Kimi.
Yes,
So you made it below half of your skill.
I mean, we needed one fighter at least.
Yeah.
You're at half.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did better than it did.
Yay!
So that means that you basically punched it And
Yay!
you get to inflict damage. You can roll a D3 plus your damage bonus.
Why I oughta.
Yeah, what's your damage bonus, man? With the D4.
So
It's
you
a
roll
D4?
A D3 plus a D4.
Oh!
Damn.
Because you're big or strong.
So, 2
So
and
4.
2.
4. All right, you pop it in the face.
That guy already took
Rabbit
10.
punch.
And it's definitely doused in ether.
Good!
You're getting that, it's a little bit of headiness
Yeah,
right
okay.
now. You sense it's like, oh, no, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm gonna start
Okay.
cranking up the window.
And now we're back to Doris. Are you in the car yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to say I'm leaning out the window.
Okay. You can get the one that's coming around the passenger side that was chasing
Yeah, I'm
him.
going to get
It's
that one.
on fire.
Yes, there's like fire on its
Right.
chest where the
Is there
zippo-
like call shots or anything?
Yes, there are. Go for the head. That's a penalty die.
Okay. I'm going to try that at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, what the hell? We
'Cause
got to lose, right?
Otherwise,
We
it's...
can't really do worse.
Oh, it can.
Worse words were never spoken.
I rolled a 96 again.
Even
You using
a
the
rope?
revolver though?
Oh, yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
skill with the
Penalty.
revolver?
It's 70, so
Okay.
yeah,
You're
I would
fine.
have to be
You
100.
just missed.
Yeah.
Great. Sweet.
Yay, just a failure.
It's good to know that it's like...
I'll probably... Yeah,
Extreme.
after you take your shot, I'll probably be like, don't get near the one outside the driver's side. It's doused in ether. It'll put us all to sleep.
I'm going to search for some matches.
Okay. There's probably you would have matches in your doctor's bag, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you have to light a candle to cauterize things.
Right.
Is it matches or is it a lighter?
It's matches.
Oh, great.
You can.
Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna.
I want to maybe. God. It would have to be brawling or throwing.
I think
One of the-
throwing would
throwing or something. It's just a weird attack. It doesn't really fit in the thing.
Roll luck.
I just spent 2 more
know,
points
I'm
of my
just
luck.
But that still might be higher
But
than your brawling.
I'll give you.
It's
I'll give
not
you a bonus.
anymore.
I'll give you a bonus die.
That's Stu's favorite thing to say in this game.
I know, right?
What?
Roll luck.
Roll luck.
Oh, luck.
That's your the little picture that... Yeah.
Okay, so what am I rolling?
Oh,
That is great.
What am I rolling?
Throwing.
Okay.
It's actually flicking, but there's no flicking skill.
20%. 20%, you could do it.
Man, I wish I hadn't rolled that so far out of the zone.
yeah. No.
They were
25.
both 20?
25.
So
Yeah.
it was 25.
That's
I'm not spending 5 fucking points of luck on this.
No, that's fine.
But, like, I'm just saying,
They both...
they
did
were
20.
both 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was meant to be.
It was
Yes.
meant to lose. It's
All right.
okay. I feel not bad. I feel not bad about it.
Yeah.
When I spend my luck to make a roll,
Mm-hmm.
like with that previous throw, can I make a checkbox next to the thing?
Oh, I don't think you get to. I'll have to double check, but
That's
I
a
don't.
very good question.
I don't
That's
think
a
you get to do
very
that
good
if you
question.
spent luck on it.
Okay. I ain't mad. I was just like, there's an opportunity here.
Right.
Give it a minute. We might find out quickly.
Dr. Holzman, you're now in the car.
Okay.
Anything you want to do while you're in the car?
Here, take these patches. Maybe you'll have better luck than I will.
I am going to remove my tie, and then I'm going to light it with one of the matches, and then
Okay.
I'm going to try to throw it that.
All right. Okay. So you're in the process of doing
Yeah.
that. That'll take you more than a turn. All right, and then you may now start driving away if you would like.
I will do so.
Okay, so you're now driving away, and then you can throw the thing.
Okay.
Make a throwing roll.
Yeah, sweet. No,
Oh
94.
my god!
Luckily, it's not a 96, or else it would have been a crit.
Landed in the car.
Right on your crotch.
No.
Okay. All right. So you start driving down the. Which way are you heading? Because you're like in it's like a little, not even a driveway, but a little yard.
We'll back out to the main road
And
and then towards Ravenhearse.
okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, that was where we were planning
Fuck
to go after this
everything.
anyway.
Let's go.
So you're driving, you look in the rearview mirror, and you can see that there are five figures, kind of walking down the middle of the road.
Seriously, we didn't manage to burn any of them?
No.
Well, at least one of them has his chest on fire.
Well, yeah, that's the
And he
glow
has
of
one
him.
arm.
Is the barn
That's
on
what I
fire?
can see.
Oh yeah, the barn's on fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's at least the evidence they tried to plant against us burning.
Nope, I had that in my bag.
Oh, you do? Oh, good.
Yes, you took that.
Okay. That's what I was hoping, but I wasn't sure if that happened.
They tried to plant against us?
There were 3 journals
see.
from Samuel Campbell and Terrence Sharp and Drake Lambert, all saying they had been harassed by people matching our descriptions, basically attempting to frame us for their murders. I'm assuming 3 of the bodies that we just left would be theirs. Or should I say the bodies that are now following us? Really? None of them succumbed to the fire. I feel like I burned that barn for nothing.
Well, one of them is on fire.
Probably
The one he dropped the
at least
light.
one of the later comers out of the barn probably might have come.
Maybe.
It seems
I'll say two. There's
awfully
two blades.
strange that they would kill themselves to frame us and then rise up. It seems to ruin their plan a bit.
Or if it was a backup plan. Plan
Perhaps.
B.
They may not have been expecting us to
Well,
arrive.
What kind of things are these people into? I mean,
Nothing good.
First, it's infecting populations with non-native insects, and now we're talking about the dead coming back to fight people. What? I mean, what?
I was hoping that somewhere in these journals I might find something besides incriminating evidence against us, but they might have let something slip, like a hint as to other plans. Or at least like a reference to some of their other friends. Oftentimes when you attempt to make up lies, you embellish with the truth in order to lend realism. It's one of the tenets of creating fiction.
Would you let me, while I'm, look through at some of the things? I'm going to look at the letter that was sent from the guy from Ravenhearse University.
Right. Dr. Blankenship.
Yeah. Does it?
My boss.
Yeah. I'm going to hand. Does this actually look like his writing? Are we in for a rude welcome? I'm going to hold it up so you can see it.
Does it? Does it appear like what I know his handwriting looks like?
It would be education, it'd be knowledge, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe the closest thing. Or maybe, yeah, probably. That's probably the closest thing.
Okay. Yeah, wrecked him.
Boom.
I have analyzed the fact that he had 4 cups of coffee that day. With an 8.
No, it does not look like his signature. It looks like someone attempting to do his signature, but there's like some shakiness to it that you wouldn't normally see. But it looks like it's probably, to you, it might be a forgery. Probably a forgery.
This seems suspect. Dr. Blankenship always pauses to dot his I in Blankenship before continuing with the P.
Well, that's a relief at least, because that means we aren't walking into
Yet another trap.
Yes, and unpleasant situation where you're occupied.
Well,
By the way, I have my Torah in my hand and I am just praying.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
All right.
and one of these journals alleges that I was harassing someone.
Yes.
I mean, technically, all 3 of the journals end up accusing all of us harassing people.
Yes.
Well, but specifically, I was named as trying to
Not named, but
described as a person that was trying to harass who?
Terrence Sharp.
Yeah.
I can't. These people certainly have found out a lot about us. To be able to set this up.
I mean, obviously they had people watching Abigail's building. And they must have seen us all go in. It stands to reason anyway. And, Now we're never named. It's merely our descriptions and
Yeah,
where
there
we
are
came from.
no names.
So that's comforting.
What
That's
would
true.
What would I roll to? I mean, I have no actual skill in this, but like, just because I take notes and stuff on my travels, maybe like look and see like how old do I think these notes are? Like, has the ink spread? Like
Probably
that sort of thing.
spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Okay.
Closest thing I can think of.
Nope. 67. I have no idea. I mean, it's possible that they've been watching us for long before that. They were aware. They may have been aware of our presence since the beginning. I mean, they do have stationery from Ravenhearse.
How
It's
far
poss-
back do these entries go?
Probably a week or two.
So, I mean,
Clearly, like looking at the timeline,
Honestly,
this is all constructed. because
Yes,
it's
but
all
like,
recent.
2 weeks is even just. I mean, we were in Akron at that point.
Right.
So even if we can assume that the timeline is legitimate for these entries, then
which we cannot.
no. But at the same time, if they had known us before, if they had been watching us before we left for Castle Hill, the entries would have been dated from before we left for Castle Hill.
Maybe, but we're also discussing the logic of people who just slit their own throats and raised from the dead. So,
Well, we don't know that we slit their own throats. There was no evidence. There were no weapons.
none of them were holding blades in their hands that they would have slit their own throats with. But let me postulate something very quickly. They leave a threatening trap for us with bees that was fairly avoidable. There was very little chance that we were simply going to walk into a car full of bees.
But a very obvious sign to come to the honey farm.
With a very obvious clue to come to the honey farm. Right as we've been planning to speak to the federal police about this, leaving incriminating evidence, manufactured incriminating evidence, at the place where they believe the police would probably go and investigate. I think that perhaps our assailants assumed that we would not, since we got the police involved, we would not investigate for ourselves and take care of the problem simply by moving things in the wrong direction for us as far as accusations go. And then with a contingency plan of leaving these
Revenants.
For lack of a better term, revenants, to deal with us if we were to investigate on our own. I think it's highly likely that we are being observed due to the vandalism done to the car and this situation. But I don't think that they've quite pieced together who exactly we are and what we're doing.
They know where we come from, they don't know our names, because it would be very simple for them to have named at least one of us in the forged letter from Blankenship.
But
If they knew.
it has been noted that there have been certain discoveries attached to these situations, as far as the skull that you discovered, and also in us communicating to the general constabulary as to what's been going on. So I think that it's very likely that they know that somebody from Ravenhearse is mucking about in their business. I do believe that they are probably being controlled by someone, maybe even someone across the pond in Europe. But nonetheless, we have been singled out for attack at this point, and that makes me quite uncomfortable.
White.
I think you're all making very logical leaps about people who are undead, and I don't think that we can, at this point, assume any logic or what we believe to be true based on what we knew of the natural order of things previously.
I mean, it's quite possible that they weren't actually dead and that they were merely laying in wait.
It could have been a very
I
clever...
shot them in the chest and they kept walking at us.
That man had his arm blown off and he was lit afire and he still was trying to come after me.
Their throats were slit. Like, I don't know.
And I did check them all for vital signs. And I got none.
There's something else happening here than a group of weirdos who just happen to be trying to frame us.
Depends on what you mean by weird.
Well, undead, people who don't die, monsters, I don't know.
Strange and unexplainable.
Yes. But those things were dead, and they got up and walked just like you or I. They were able to be set on fire, to be shot at, and still they had very intent purpose on harming us for some reason.
Well, we're obviously contrary to their plans.
Well, I mean, seeing as we've involved the authorities, we've let them know that such acts are happening and have made clear that we would like them to stop.
Can you have plans if you don't have a pulse? I don't...
But obviously, this is not all of them. We are still...
We know that
so
several
let's
more.
assume that from... we can infer from the journals and from the journals, and obviously from visiting Abigail's flat, that Abigail Amherst is dead. Samuel Campbell is dead. Terrence Sharp is dead. Drake Lambert is dead.
But what does
But
dead
this
mean when they can get up
leaves-
and walk?
But this leaves Pierce Murray and Mary Duncan and Graham Stone unaccounted for.
I have read of accounts of indigenous tribes that take pain-relieving and mind-altering drugs that allow them to shrug off an amount of damage that we would think would be ridiculous. It is very possible that these people may have been on these drugs, and when that catches up with them, they will indeed fall dead, but
In the meantime, they don't acknowledge the injury done to their bodies.
They just simply feel no pain.
I have seen people die. I have seen the eyes of those who have died. Those people were dead. They were not hurt and ignoring their pain. They had glassy, dead eyes. They weren't just mad. They weren't just drugged. They were dead, and they were walking.
I find that extremely difficult to believe.
I feel
I'm
like it's
fine
the
with that.
least of the problems that we have is your skepticism. When, I mean, as much as I would like to deny it, as much as I would like to find a rational explanation for it, 2 of those people walked out of a burning building after it had been burning for some time. One of them was on fire when they were chasing us down the road after having their arm shot off. At some point, I feel like we all have to acknowledge that something more is happening. However, what that more signifies is still a question. If so many of this group that we were originally following is dead, who is really pulling the strings? We know for a fact that 4 out of the 7 that we were looking for is already dead. 1 is most likely maimed, missing a hand.
Oh, that was an interesting question.
Actually, 5 people? 5 out of the 7 that we were looking for is dead. 3 here. Abigail, whoever the body was at
Well,
the
there were
creek.
5 bodies here.
Mm-hmm. And who were the other 2 people here?
I would have to assume that they may be ones on your list as well.
Or they were
the
people
owners of the farm.
who worked or owned the farm itself.
So,
Because why would members of this group be the only ones at this business?
I mean, maybe
Especially dead.
Especially a business that has obviously been in business for quite some time. Their product is relatively well known. It isn't a front. It isn't a setup. this
Might still be a front, but at least not for the occult.
Now, the other thing that worries me is that these people got a hold of Ravenhearse University stationery
Yes.
to make this letter from Dr. Blankenship.
I don't think we should go back.
That means someone,
Has
Well-
been feeding them information.
or someone was at the university or still is at the university that's working with them.
Exactly.
perhaps we return to New York and investigate the addresses that we have for those persons.
And pretend like we were never here.
We called Agent Hoover and told him we were coming here.
We told him we were thinking about it.
We were told we were
got
considering
drunk
it.
at a speakeasy and didn't show up. That's also why we're so late to rent a hotel.
And not only that, but our car has been stored. And
Well, there's a record of me renting this car.
yeah.
to get around New York.
So we go. I mean, we could go to the Cotton Club.
Perfect.
I have people there. They'll vouch for us being there all night.
Excellent.
I'm in agreement with you. I don't think that that it's a good time for us to return to the university. I think that perhaps we'd run into things we'd rather avoid there.
And it puts us on this road tonight.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you could provide us a place with some people that may provide us with an alibi, that would be...
I mean, I have plenty of people who would believe the night is yet young.
Your resourcefulness constantly astounds me. I'm with all of you, and I am willing to concede that there is something involved here that is beyond our level of explanation.
I will turn the car around.
I will have to ask Doris and Dr. Freedman if you refrain from commenting upon the clientele of the club. Not that I think you would, but just as a warning.
Alright.
Yeah, that's fine.
They can be rather sensitive.
Understand. I've traveled enough places where I was,
The other?
yes, to understand.
Okay, so that's the plan, Stu.
Okay, so you're turning around and going back to the city?
We're heading to the Cotton Club, which is freaking awesome.
Okay, all right.
You don't understand how happy that makes me.
But I would recommend that everybody be on their guard because we will not have to pass back past the farm where the zombies were walking after us.
Oh, I thought it was like a road in, and then...
No, it's like the main road, and then we were off that road.
So we'd have to go back
Places.
down that main road again to
Yes.
go back.
Yeah, but like,
We got a map. You can probably find a way that...
I would. Yeah, let's.
Okay, yeah.
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 No
If it seems like
zombie
there's an
farm.
alternate route, yeah, then that's fine.
You can try to find an take an alternate
Yes.
route. Okay.
You know, it's funny because I was cursing the fact that we came here so late, but now I'm very glad that we came here after nightfall.
I mean, at least we don't have to deal with zombies and bees.
Zombies.
Hey,
Yes.
all right, so you basically, there's like a smaller road or something, and you can see that the barn like fully involved now in the distance.
And you're not quickly enough! Sorry. I'm so annoyed.
Takes a long time to burn something down.
Just
like
saying, if we had just managed to close that door.
If it wasn't so freaking scary and weird, we probably would
If
have.
everything wasn't terrible,
Yeah.
if everything wasn't quite so awful.
Well, and if I hadn't have had in-character reasons to attempt to try and save people,
Yeah, it's fine.
And if I hadn't been so useless.
But I'm going
Loaded
to
a
continue
rifle. Whatever.
as if Camilla is willing while we're driving to try and continue. I know it's dark. Maybe we have a little lighter because we're smart. Continue to look through the paperwork and see if we can find any other information.
Actually, I also go
yeah.
over myself since I've been in contact with things, make sure that I don't have any blood or anything obviously
Okay.
indicative of what's been going on me. If so, I wish to clean that off.
that's probably a good idea.
you probably do have some blood on you because you were involved with the thing that she shot its arm off, so there was probably at least a little blood.
Okay.
a little bit of blood.
So
Other stuff so you can change clothes.
Yeah. So I will do that. I will dispose of that clothing appropriately.
Okay.
I am going to cooperate with Doris and attempt to set up a little mini travel lantern and look through more of these papers and see if anything else jumps out at us.
I also tell the good doctor.
There's actually not many entries. Most of them only have 2 or 3 entries in them, and some of them it's stayed here for breakfast, and the next one is these weird people from the university were harassing us today.
I mean,
Basically
they
picked
did
up their
not
Twitter.
try to do a very good job
No.
of framing us. This was an obvious frame job.
Yes. Obvious to you. May not be obvious to anyone else, but obvious to you.
I would like to think that people would be suspicious of diaries that only had 3 entries, 2 of which were incriminating.
Sure.
It all depends on how badly the police just wanted to find somebody to pin this on and move along.
Because they never
I
do
mean,
that.
I will never regret taking these with us. Don't get me wrong.
100% with you.
However, this does not scream criminal mastermind so much as it does
Panic diversion.
and Plan B. It is possible that the Plan A were the Revenants.
I agree. I don't know what the priority of it is. It just seemed like...
I mean, something that requires obvious skill and a disturbing amount of knowledge of the dead versus 3 lines in a journal. I've written more than that today.
Do you think that might be what this is all about? Is immortality of some type, even if it's terrifying revenant immortality? Do you think?
Dealing from the symbology that we've been seeing coming along with this, usually, I would say no. Doomsday cults don't really essentially have an immortal or youthfulness, or those things tend to be downplayed. Doomsday cults tend to simply want to bring about the end of everything, not preserve anything. Although it's still a possibility, but I tend to lean towards not the case.
Just the amount of fanaticism that it takes to just allow someone to slit your throat for that.
We're obviously dealing with some very sick minds that are involved with powers that they cannot possibly comprehend.
Wasn't there something in that story about that college killer? About the college kids being...
They didn't seem to put up resistance.
Put up a fight, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
Group delusion is a very powerful and strange...
Once again, they also could have been drugged. If they were on enough heroin, they wouldn't care what's going on.
Unless maybe they were also like these dead things.
Or if they had been anesthetized first and laid out before.
I don't know.
So you said we're going to a club.
The Cotton Club.
Yes. Is that a place... I don't feel like I should wear my road clothes.
No. However, no one would look at you askance if you were.
I have my luggage in the back.
If you would like to change...
As long as we can make a stop.
Yeah,
If you
I'd
would
like
like
to
to
stop. Gore.
If you would like to... I mean, I would recommend that Dr. Holzman clean up some for the good of us all. But in terms of attire, it wouldn't concern yourself overly much.
I still pull out my good suit.
It's not every day I get to wear something something nice and go out someplace that's quite so popular at the moment.
I don't think I have any idea what it's about at all. Like you guys have said the name, and I'm just like...
I don't know. I have no idea.
That's in New York City.
Yeah. Doris is on the scene enough to know and be
Sure.
excited about going.
All right. Let's end it there.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and let's go ahead and do the advanced thing now. And let
Okay.
me look up. Let's roll the end, and then we'll.
The other thing that the chat did tell me about is that we can't use luck on combat rolls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so when
I
I, used
forgot about
luck
that.
on that throw, I could not do it.
Yeah, but it's all right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Chad.
Listen, learn.
Yeah.
And I also think you can't use it on sanity rolls.
Right.
Yeah, we need
I
that
believe-
one.
Yeah.
I did know about the sanity thing. I didn't realize the combat thing. I knew you couldn't push a combat roll.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Where's my thing?
Can't find it by now, buddy.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be playing again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You can go to happyjacks.org/murmurs at the abyss, all one word, all lowercase, or go to happyjacks.org/shows to find this AP and all the other fine APs that we do here. And thank you very much. And we'll see you next time.
And if you're interested, we are at Strategicon next
Yes.
weekend, which also means, unfortunately, we will not have Travelers next weekend.
Right.
However, Strategicon!
Yay!
And however, at Strategicon, Stu will be doing an actual play of a Call of Cthulhu game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday nights.
Friday, 8 p.m. to midnight.
Yeah.
I'm going to be running a Napoleonic era Call of Cthulhu game
Yes. Should be very
called
good.
La Nouvelle Terreur.
Jesus.
That's going to be
Wow.
amazing.
Well,
Thank you for joining. What happened? Why did
Yeah,
it go
it's
away? Oh, there it goes.
You're okay.
Bye. That's your job.
Behind the lake and the shadows lengthen in Carcosa. Strange is the night where black stars rise. Strange moons circle through the skies. But stranger still is lost Carcosa. Song of my soul, my voice is dead. Die thou unsung as tears unshed, shall dry and die in lost Carcosa. Strange is the night where black stars rise, and strange moons circle through the skies, but stranger still is lost Carcosa. Song that the Hydes shall sing, where flap the tatters of the king must die unheard in dim Carcosa. Song of my soul, my voice is dead. Die thou unsung as tears unshed, shall try and die in lost Carcosa.
The preceding program has been a presentation of the Angry Folk Media Empire.
Bum 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 bum.